Chapter 181 Stormy Royal Family. Nan Fengyi's words were a glimpse, and he did not expect that this young man would not give himself a face. Not to mention the identity of his Emperor's Majesty, this is only the strong condensed crystal. I am afraid that there are not many spirits who dare to be so arrogant. However, he also knows the pride of Yi Yuan, the peerless genius. A peerless genius who can survive the 9-day road. The future must be beyond the existence of the Qin state. Therefore, Yi Yuan has a proud capital. Nan Fengyi certainly does not know. Yi Yuan has enough strength to talk to him equally, because he has a third-order monster as a servant. Nan Fengyi did not tell Nan Fengyi about the flight, because she promised Yi Yuan, no one said. After returning, Nan Fengyi even stunned Nan Fengyi. Cough. Nan Fengyi coughed a few times to cover up his own guilt, and said, I don't know how Yi Shao brothers think about the Pindan meeting of the Drunk Star building. Yi Yuan pouted. Disdain. A group of jumping clowns only. What kind of Pindan meeting? Wan Donghai, that three-legged cat Kung Fu, will be a fart of Dan. If I expected to be good, this matter is simply made by Sujia. Wan Donghai is just a puppet pushed by them to the stage. Nan Fengyi said. I don't think Yi Shao brother actually looked so thorough. According to the understanding, the Juyuan Dan of the Drunk Star building is from the Shangzong Dantang. And this time, they got 3 kinds from Dantang. New medicinal herbs are used to confuse people, and their hearts are awkward. This time it's Yi Yuan's turn. Oh, from the Union Zongdantang. It seems that this Dantang has some doorways, and it has been able to develop so many new drugs. Yi Yuan's research on medicinal herbs is unparalleled, and he knows how difficult it is to develop new medicinal drugs. With the understanding of the borderless medicinal herbs, Dantang can develop so many new medicinal herbs, which shows that the strength of Dantang is strong. Although these new medicinal herbs are worthless in Yi Yuan's eyes, they are a great breakthrough in the eyes of others. This nature, after the ancestors of the ancestors, the Union sect has been indulged for a while. Until the 11th generation of the head Ouyang Tuoshan turned out to be born, relying on one's own strength to lead the Union Zongxing. And Ouyang Tuoshan, it was not known for its military strength. He used to be a generation of Dan Emperor. During his tenure, he used the medicinal herbs to create countless powerful people. From then on, Yu Yunzong formed the situation of Dantang and Wutang chambers. Nan Fengyi explained. Yi Yuan reveals the faint color, which is the origin of the Union Zongwutang and Dantang. This way, it seems that when I kneel down and look for me, I feel the pressure. I knew it. Why should I be at the beginning? Did you stop the Su family early? Wouldn't it be that much? Yi Yuan also guessed the south wind. Yi's intentions. Now that you can compete with the Drunk Star building, there is only the medicine incense. Nan Fengyi came to find Yi Yuan. Naturally, I wanted to let the Yi family cooperate with the Nanfeng family and destroy the Pindan conference. Nan Fengyi smiled and said, Do you think I don't want to? You know why Sujia can get so many medicines from Dantang. Well, is there someone on the Su family? Nan Fengyi nodded. Su Yulin's sister, married to the Dantang elder Ouyang Ming 20 years ago. Although the Shangzong has regulations, Zongmunjong people must not interfere with the common things, but Ouyongjia occasionally helps the Su family, or it's a breeze. Otherwise, do you think that Su Yubai will be the elder of the Danwu Academy? If he is not strong enough, the position of this dean may have been won by the Su family. Yi Yuan is so stunned. There are so many things in the middle. No wonder Su Yubai only covers the sky in the college, but no one dares to scream. Sujia is in the Union Zong, and Nan Fengyi will only vote for the rats in these years. He has never dared to start with the Su family, so that the tiger is suffering. It is no wonder that the people of the Nanfeng family are so low-key, and it is no wonder that the royal family will support Yi Heng and Wan Donghai confrontation. In the middle, there are so many causalities. It seems that the confrontation between the father and Wan Donghai is actually a comparison between the royal family and the Su family in the dark. In this way, everything makes sense. However, from the previous situation, both the royal family and the medicine incense pavilion are at a distinct disadvantage. This time, the Su family has made so many new medicinal herbs from Dantang, and what kind of Dandan meeting is in full swing in the city? I am afraid that it is time for the poor to see it. Because of this, Nan Fengyi was finally unable to sit still. Squatting down to find me. Yi Yuan could not help but be curious. The movements of Sujia and Wanjia have been so great, but I secretly sent people to go to the medicine hall, so that the adults are in retreat, I am afraid. It turned out that Nan Fengyi was worried that Yi Heng would avoid the war, so the south winds would have no way to retreat. One thought in this, Yi Yuan is quite uncomfortable. No matter who they are, or their father is being used as a pawn. Now, in this case, once Yi Heng really fails, is it the object that Sujia and Wanjia will first remove? At that time, the royal family will not help, or two things. Your Majesty wants my father to fight this charge. I don't know what kind of means the royal family has prepared. If Sujia really forced the palace, what is the plan for him to do? Yi Yuan's tone gradually became cold. Although Nan Fengyi is the father of Nanfengyu, the brother of Nanfeng Ruqing, but he has not a relationship with Yi Yuan. If the royal family perishes, Yi Yuan does not mind if he wants to rescue the Nanfeng Ruqinggu, but because he wants him to sell for the royal family, that is impossible. Not to mention, Nan Fengyi is still calculating his father at this time. Your Majesty called me, Yi Shao brothers is nothing more than a fancy to my future identity. However, have you ever thought about it? The royal family is not there. What is the significance of your future core disciple? You are ironic. Yi Yuan, you are arrogant. Nan Fengyi finally couldn't help but anger. Yi Yuan actually cursed the royal family's demise. This is something he can't tolerate. Oh, let's relax. I will let go. Can I still have a Su family? In fact, I know in my heart that the royal family has reached a precarious situation. Even if I don't let go, can you change the ending? It is now this time. His Majesty also pretends to have a well-thought-out look. Who is this to see? Is it because my father is going to die? Do you think that sending my father out will eliminate the ambition of the Su family? Yi Yuan sneered. A very terrible momentum was released, which is a powerful momentum of the condensed crystal warriors. However, Yi Yuan faces this momentum, but it does not move. Oh, I advised you to suffocate. At this time, it is not a wise move to offend the only ally. Yi Yuan said lightly. Nan Fengyi changed his face and immediately took over the momentum. Chapter 182 Donation. Do you not think that Wanjia and Sujia will let you out of Yi family? This pinnacle conference is secretly pointing to the royal, but on the bright side, it is directed at the Yi family. Silence for a long time. Nan Fengyi speaks road. Yi Yuan heard and said with a smile, Your Majesty is not wrong. At this time, all the people in Qin can surrender, but the Nanfeng family can't. Your Majesty threatens me with this, is it too powerless? After Yi Yuan finished, the face of Nanfengyi changed again. He thought that this leaf is far away and is better to deal with. But who thinks? Yi Yuan sees better than anyone else. Although Nanfengyi has been paying attention to Yi Yuan for a long time, the real contact is the first time. All the senses before were obtained through the Nanfeng Ruqing. Nan Fengyi now feels that this Yi Yuan is more difficult to deal with than his eldest son Yi Heng. Nan Fengyi took a deep breath and said, Yi Yuan, I don't know when your father will go out. If he doesn't leave, even if Yi family wants to vote, it's useless. Yi Yuan heard the words but smiled. Your Majesty, since my father retreats, all the matters of Yi Jia are naturally made me by me. Since you are looking for me, I am afraid it is also worthy of this. The color of the south wind is exposed to the color of the face, but it is the key to being poked by Yi Yuan. He is really anxious. Yi Heng has not gone out for a long time, and the royal family has no room for any buffer. Under the last resort, he came to Yi Yuan, hoping to let Yi Heng go through Yi Yuan to solve the current predicament. But who knows, Yi Yuan is more difficult to deal with than he imagined. Nan Fengyi took a deep breath and finally put Yi Yuan in a dialogue with his peer status. Let's say, Yi Jia has what requirements? Oh, my Majesty finally came up with some sincerity. However, I have no requirements for Yi family, but I can send the Nanfeng home for hundreds of years. My request is only that the Nanfeng family is not allowed in these hundreds of years. Yi Jia has the slightest suspicion, so that Yi Jia is independent of the Qin system. Yi Yuan faint. What do you say? Nanfeng Yi did not expect that Yi Yuan would actually make such a request. Yi Yuan is laughing. Your Majesty, this piece, I am far away. The Pindan Conference is just a slap in the face of me. I can not only cooperate with the royal destruction of the Pindan Conference, but also cooperate with the royal family to kill 10,000. Home and Su family, just don't know if there is such power in your Majesty. Nanfeng Yi took a breath of air and wiped out Wanjia and Sujia. He didn't want to, but he never dared to have such thoughts. Yu Yun Zhong Yang family is not a family that Nanfeng family can sin. Nanfeng Yi does not dare to take this risk. Now, Yi Yuan directly said to destroy the Su family. Does this, or else, wait for your father to go out and negotiate again. Yi Yuan licked his mouth and was very disdainful about the enthusiasm of Nanfeng Yi. As an emperor, how can you be so indecisive? Su Jia has a tough backstage is good, but if the Nanfeng home is a retreat, in the end, only the Su family can get in. This point, Nanfeng Yi still can't understand now. Yi Yuan sighed and said, it seems that my Majesty is still not enough to understand Yi Yuan. I suggest that you should talk to Nanfeng and your sister, and then make this decision. I only send the next 8 words. Breaking constantly, it's against it. After that, Yi Yuan no longer speaks, and this conversation naturally ends here. On the next day, Yi Yuan returned to Danwu College and caused a great sensation in the college. Hey, have you heard that? Yi Yuan and Feng Shiji have been missing for nearly a month in the Boundless trial, and now they are back. Yeah, I thought they were dead in the Infinite Forest. Who knows they came out. Hey, Yi Yuan, this person is destined to return, afraid that it is not so easy to die. Yi Yuan is back, but Su Yishan has not returned yet. Hey, is there any connection in the middle? Do you have brain damage? Isn't this a clear thing? In this infinite trial, the missing heavyweights, except Yi Yuan and the Windy, counted Su Yishan. Now, only Yi Yuan the sister came back, afraid of. You mean, hey, it was not a big deal to return from the Boundless trials, but Yi Yuan and Nanfeng's disappearance were too long, and the time prescribed by the college had passed. The Wubang master Su Yishan disappeared at the same time, which revealed a great unusual in the middle. Now Yi Yuan and Nanfeng Yu are returning at the same time. Only Su Yishan has not returned for a long time. Many people have already guessed what happened between this month. After all, there have been many such incidents as usual, and there are contradictory students who go to participate in infinite trials, and only one party will eventually return. The other side is permanently left in the infinite forest. Yi Yuan naturally is too lazy to pay attention to those gossips. He is now visiting Hu Yanyang. Haha, Yi Yuan, I know that you are not so easy to die. Hu Yanyang saw Yi Yuan, could not help but laugh. Thank you for the concern of Hu Yan. In fact, this is really a life of 9 deaths, but fortunately, there is no danger in the end, but also a small gain. Yi Yuan laughed. Well, it's not bad. I went to the Boundless Forest, but I broke through to the Spirit Liquid twice. It really didn't disappoint me. Hu Yanyang praised it, but his heart was set off. Although Hu Yanyang is very optimistic about Yi Yuan, his progress is too fast. Only a few days later, Yi Yuan actually broke through to the spirit of the two. When did the spiritual environment become so easy to break through? Oh, I don't know how long Hu Yan has been in the spirit of Zhejiang. Yi Yuan suddenly asked. What do you ask for this? Hey, I figured it's been almost 5 or 6 years, and I haven't been able to find a breakthrough opportunity. Speaking of this, Hu Yanyang is also a decadent. The threshold of Lingjing to the condensed crystal environment is not so easy to break through. Many spiritual warriors cannot cross this threshold for the rest of their lives. Hu Yanyang's talent is good. It is a spiritual liquid warrior who condenses 4 drops of spiritual liquid. However, it is impossible to break through the condensed crystal environment without accumulation of more than 10 or 20 years. This way, I don't know if you let Hu Yan directly break through the condensed crystal environment. How much do you have to grasp? Yi Yuan asked. Hu Yanyang is even more surprised, but still replied, isn't you kidding Yi Yuan? I haven't even reached the half-step condensate, and I have broken through the condensed crystals directly, and I haven't even grasped it. Yi Yuan smiled and took a medicinal herb from the storage ring and handed it to Hu Yangyang. He said, Wei Yan teacher, this is my refining condensed crystal Dan, which can increase the chance of 60% condensed crystal. I don't know Hu Yan teacher. Are you sure you can break through the condensate? What, 60%? Are you kidding? Hu Yangyang almost jumped up. Chapter 183 Even if I kill, what? 60% of the breakthrough probability. Hu Yangyang looked at Yi Yuan, and there was a blank in his mind. Happiness is coming too suddenly. Hu Yangyang never doubts that he can break through the condensate, but that is at least 20 years later. But now, Yi Yuan actually brought him such a huge surprise, and Hu Yangyang really couldn't believe it. How can it improve the 60% chance of breaking through the condensed crystal environment? How bad is this? I thought it would take some time to get the medicinal material of this condensed crystal. I didn't expect to enter the infinite forest this time. I even inadvertently got the main material to refine it. I took it home to refine it. Hu Yan teacher is me, the savior. How can I take Hu Yan's teacher to play this joke? Yi Yuan laughed. But, this medicinal medicine is a second-order medicinal medicine, but the senior Dan teacher is not so easy to refine it. Can you say that you have the strength to surpass the senior Dan teacher? What did Hu Yangyang suddenly think of? Surprised. This is actually a lot of excitement, and the senior Dan teacher wants to refine the crystal, which is simply impossible. Don't say that it is a senior Dan teacher, that is, a senior Dan teacher, it is impossible to refine the crystal Dan. The complexity of the refining process of the condensate crystal is that the Da Dan division of Qin state simply cannot understand. Even if Yi Yuan used the herbs to refine them, they could not refine them. Almost, the second-order medicinal herbs are no longer difficult for me, Yi Yuan said. He is not showing anything, just explaining a fact. Yi Yuan's soul power has reached the level of the intermediate Danqi. With the gradual refining method of yin and yang shunting, refining the second-order medicinal herbs is really not a problem for him. Hu Yangyang couldn't help but pump his mouth. This kid is really a wonderful girl. Only 2 spirits, it is said that the second-order immortality is not difficult. I don't know what the dean will feel when he hears this. Hu Yangyang gently stroked the medicine bottle that Yi Yuan gave him and became silent. But from his slightly trembling body, he can see how excited he is at this time. Yi Yuan did not urge, but quietly waited for Hu Yangyang to calm down. He also knows how big the impact of Kong Jingdan on Hu Yangyang. For a long time, Hu Yangyang took a deep breath, but returned the medicine bottle to Yi Yuan, saying, Yi Yuan, you still take it back. Yi Yuan has a slight glimpse, some are unknown. Isn't Mr. Hu Yan not believe in Yi Yuan? Hu Yangyang waved his hand. How can the teacher believe you? It's just that this medicine is too precious, I can't accept it. I think at the speed of your progress, it is a matter of 1 year to break through to the peak of the spirit. This remedy, you still use it yourself. You need it more than me. Yi Yuan did not expect that Hu Yangyang actually said this, and his heart was very moved. For the warriors of the gods, the condensate environment may not be anything. However, Yi Yuan stayed in the Qin state for such a long time, and fully understands what it means for the Jingjing martial arts. However, for the sake of himself, Hu Yangyang is willing to give up the opportunity to become a condensed person. Among them, how much perseverance is needed to get rid of the temptation to promote the condensed crystal environment. Yi Yuan also returned the medicine bottle to Hu Yangyang, laughing. Wei Yan teacher has more thoughts. This condensed crystal Dan is not as precious as you think. How much I have? How much is there? Yi Yuan, you are not going to let me accept this remedy, deliberately say this. Hu Yangyang is not channel. Yi Yuan was helpless, and he took out 2 medicine bottles. The medicinal medicine in the bottle was a condensed crystal Dan, and the shocked Hu Yangyang again closed his mouth. Such a bad drug can also be mass-produced. The way this kid is really incredible. Well, if that's the case, I will accept it. However, this condensed crystal is too enchanting, you have to keep the secret, don't be known. Hu Yangyang is not a person who is tempted. Yi Yuan has said this. He naturally will not shirk it anymore, but he reminded Yi Yuan. This is natural. Hu Yangyang carefully put away the condensed crystal Dan, and then said to Yi Yuan, since you have returned, then Su Yishan him. Dead. Yi Yuan faint. Hu Yangyang did not have many accidents, but he could also guess Yi Yuan's trip to the boundless forest, fearing that it was not so calm. You are fine, nothing else. The dean is already back. You will see him with me. He is very valued to you, said Hu Yangyang. Well, it should. Yi Yuan did not refuse. After all, Hu Yangyang protected himself, or the order of the dean. He should go to visit if he is in love. When they just went out, they saw the imposing Su Yubai coming face to face. Yi Yuan, how are you going to make a mountain? I warn you, if there is a 3 length and 2 short in a mountain, you and Yi family have to be buried. Su Yubai roared. Yi Yuan looked at Su Yubai like an idiot, and said faintly, I said Elder Su, are you brains? You lost your nephew, you don't go to the infinite forest to find him, run me, what are you doing? Su Yubai pointed at Yi Yuan's nose and said, Yi Yuan, Hu wants to make an innocent look for the old man. This time, there is no trial. You, Nanfeng and a mountain have not returned. You dare to say the disappearance of a mountain has nothing to do with you. Yi Yuan glanced at Hu Yangyang, and his face looked different. Is there any excitement about the Elder Su recently? How does it look like the brain is not good? His mind has always been so good. Hu Yangyang is very irresponsible to fill the knife, and Yi Yuan came to sing a song. This way, then you can't blame him. Elder Su, I wonder if you made a mistake. The boundless trial seems to be more than just 3 of us who are not going to return. As far as I know, there are more than 20 trials of this boundless trial. The students did not come back, you just put the 3 of us together, and the heart is sinister. I know that Elder Su is not good at me, but can't be so blamed for it. Yi Yuan looked innocent. Seeing Yi Yuan and Hu Yangyang, you have a sentence, Su Yubai is even bigger. Although Su Yishan was the son of Su Yulin, it was cultivated by Su Yubai. Not a father and son, love the same father and son. Otherwise, he will not find out when Yi Yuan came back, and immediately went to the door. But now, Yi Yuan and Nanfeng you are back, but Su Yishan still has not returned. I am afraid that it has been fierce. After all, Su Yishan is going to kill Yi Yuan. Su Yubai does not believe that they did not face in the infinite forest. Let me to be innocent. In this group of students, you have a hatred with a mountain. If there is an accident in a mountain, you can't escape. Oh, is it? The boundless forest is very dangerous. Why can't Su Yishan be killed by the monster? The Elder Su's brain hole is really big. But then again, even if I killed it, what's the matter? There is no evidence for Elder Su will not be guilty of my teeth. Hey, I almost forgot, I am now the core disciple of Yu Yunzong, and Elder Su can't fix my sin. Yi Yuan faint. Chapter 184 Lead. Ha ha ha, you finally admitted. Yi Yuan, do you really think that I dare not kill you? Su Yubai angered and laughed. Hey, kill me, you can't run yourself. Yu Yun blame, it's not a joke, don't you think about it. Yi Yuan smiled. Giggle, you think too much. Go to hell. Su Yubai still said this, but it suddenly violently took a shot toward Yi Yuan. Turn the palms. The same move, Su Yishan and Su Yubai made it out, it is a world of difference. However, this palm is empty. Su Yubai only felt a flower in front of her eyes, but at the same time there were 9 leaves far away. And he can't tell which one is Yi Yuan's real body. Then, Su Yubai penetrated a virtual shadow like this. When he turned back, Yi Yuan still stood in the same place, as if he had never moved. Su Yubai and Hu Yangyang's face showed horror at the same time. When did Yi Yuan learn such a powerful and strange body? Hu Yangyang did not expect Su Yubai to dare to do it in the college. It was too late to think about defense. But he did not expect that Yi Yuan was so easy to avoid the attack of Su Yubai. You actually broke through to the spirit of the two. Su Yubai cannot be channel. Yi Yuan entered a boundless forest, and it was not enough for a month. He actually broke through to the spirit liquid. This speed, oh, the elders of Tosu, fortunately, broke through. Su Yubai's face is black, and this leaf's mouth is really owed. Whose blessing is not good? Ask him the blessing of Su Yubai. Is this not a singer? Right, sus elders still remember what I said. It's not a joke with you. Maybe, it's not a year. Yi Yuan said with a smile. Su Yubai heard the change of face. With the speed of Yi Yuan's progress, maybe it's really a year. Although Yi Yuan's words made him a laughingstock of Danwu College, he never had one thing. However, now, he suddenly found that Yi Yuan seems to be really not kidding, he really has this ability. Hey, it will take you a year to live. Yi Heng will soon fall, you think you still have a chance? Su Yubai sneered. Is it? I feel that after my father's fall, it is better for Elder Su to come to me to come to the glory. Otherwise, I will be hit by my face again. Although your face has been smashed by me, but I don't mind if I hit it again. Yi Yuan said lightly. Su Yubai almost didn't get killed. Yi Yuan was too lazy to pay attention to Su Yubai, turned and Hu Yanyang left. Looking at the back of Yi Yuan, Su Yubai's eyes are almost spurting out of the fire. However, Yi Yuan has grown to such a degree, there is also a Hu Yanyang next to him, he simply can't stay away from Yi Yuan. Although the Su family is very strong, it is not strong enough to cover the sky at Danwu College. Yi Yuan, I can't think of you participating in the infinite trials this time. After returning, it seems like a reincarnation. Just that trick, even if I am right, it is helpless. Hu Yanyang exclaimed. Hu Yanyang feels that Yi Yuan has not only improved his realm, but his strength has been much stronger. Although he only has 2 spirits, but the strength is probably no longer in Longtang. You must know that Longtang has risen 2 levels in this month's time, breaking through to the spirit of 5. Hu Yanyang has some faint expectations, and the contest between the 2 top talents of Qingguo Danwu College. Oh, it's a small gain. Yi Yuan didn't say much, so he had to be vague. Speaking of his trip to the infinite forest, the biggest gain is the spirit of God of medicine. Only in a short period of time, he still can't understand those golden words, so this drug of the medicine is not useful for Yi Yuan for the time being. The 2 walked side by side and soon came to the residence of Zhang Yunhe. President, Yi Yuan is back, I will bring him to see you. Hu Yanyang said respectfully outside the door. Come in. Hu Yanyang and Yi Yuan heard the words and entered the door, but found that there were other people in the house. An old man sitting opposite Zhang Yunhe gave a feeling of unfathomable feeling. The old man stood next to a young man, but the appearance of 18 or 19 years old was already a refinement of the spirit. This age has such strength, and it is absolutely standing out at Danwu College. Even if it is a dragon, it can't be compared. Haha, Yi Yuan, it's a coincidence. I'm going to send someone to call you in Longtang. You come over first. Come and meet and pick up Yao Qian adults. Zhang Yunhe saw Yi Yuan and immediately laughed. Road. Obviously, Zhang Yunhe has long known about Yi Yuan's return to college. Yi Yuan met with Yao Qian adults. Yi Yuan did not say anything, and gave Yao Qian a gift. The college teaches you to exhale and visit the adults. Hu Yanyang heard the words but changed his face and respectfully went to give a gift. Yao Qian fainted Yi Yuan and said, well, you are the one who has spent 9 days on the road with strength. It is the younger generation. Yi Yuan said, I don't know why. Yi Yuan thinks that this leads to look a little strange, and it seems that he doesn't like it. This old man should be from the Yunzong, do you seem to know one? Yi Yuan couldn't figure out where to offend the old man. There are also young people around the old man who look at their own eyes and are full of disdain. Baffling. Oh, Yao Qian is next to his proud disciple Yang Hao. Don't look at his young age. Not only did he reach the 8-pointed spirit in the martial arts, but he is also a senior Dan teacher. He is stronger than your wind teacher. Genius figure. He is the brother of you and Longtang in the future. You are close and close. Zhang Yunhe praised. Appreciated by Zhang Yunhe, Yang Hao's face showed a hint of color, but it was well concealed. Yi Yuan saw this scene, and his heart could not help but despise. With this kind of mind, the realm of the higher is also no good. It seems that the people in this door have come to the world and have a feeling of being tall. Yi Yuan couldn't help but glance at Hu Yanyang. He didn't react to seeing him. He seemed to think that he should be so, and could not help but sigh. However, this attitude, Yi Yuan is very disdain. Yi Yuan listened to Zhang Yunhei's introduction. His face was calm, but his heart was full of belly. Is this a genius? When did genius become so worthless? However, in the face of Zhang Yunhei, Yi Yuan naturally did not show anything, but only arched the archer. I have seen Yang brother, and later enter the Zongmen, and I hope that Yang brothers will take care of them. Yi Yuan's number of ceremonies is already quite in place. Unexpectedly, this Yang Hao is faint. Oh, Yi Shidi is the first person in the millennium. Where do you need me to be meticulous? Chapter 185 have never seen such a stupid. An opening is a strong smell of gunpowder. The face of the leaf is so heavy, this guy is simply picking things up. He was not so cool about Yang Hao's arrogant attitude, just for Zhang Yunhei's face, he would be so gracious. Otherwise, with Yi Yuan's personality, Li is too lazy to pay attention to Yang Hao. The so-called genius, in the eyes of Yi Yuan, even the fools are not counted. It turns out that Yang's brother knows that he is a mediocrity. It seems that there is still some self-knowledge. I am also worried that Yang's brother has been praised a lot, and it's a little bit swaying. Since the other party does not give face, Yi Yuan naturally does not have to be polite. Hey, the so-called first person of the millennium, but some ignorant people of the world have touted it. After 9 days of road, the Union Zhongli grabbed a large number, and only in the outer door. Will this be regarded as a ***** come to hype? In the face of Yi Yuan's ridicule, Yang Hao did not feel furious, but opposed. Yi Yuan shrugged. I don't care what the first person of the millennium, only some mediocrity, will remember this kind of thing. Yi Yuan screamed in a mediocrity, and Yang Hao was so tired. He just satirized Yi Yuan, but he didn't want Yi Yuan to fight with the snake, so he called it. Yi Shidi is a mediocrity. I don't know if I can dare to compare this with me. I want to teach you what the genius is, the so-called first person of the millennium. Yang Hao was in a position of high condescending, and he was afraid to fight. He is a spirit of 8, Senior Dan, and Yi Yuan is not a grade. If Yi Yuan dares to fight, then he is not a genius, but an uncompromising fool. Yi Yuanzheng wants to speak, and Zhang Yunhei on the side said, Yi Yuan, not rude. Yao Qian is the elder of Shangzong Dantang. He and Yang Hao are on a trip to take you in Longtang. Zongmen. After that, he turned to Yao Qiandao. Yi Yuan is young and vigorous, and I hope that Yao Qiandao will not be surprised. In the face of Zhang Yunhei's reprimand, Yi Yuan did not say anything. He knows that Zhang Yunhei is reminding him that it is necessary to pass the two people and not offend. Yao Qian did not show anything, but faintly said, the young people's things, let them solve themselves, we old people, do not mix. Yao Qian's position in Yuyunzong is much higher than him. Since he said so, Zhang Yunhei naturally said that he was not good at it, but his heart was slightly unhappy. Of course, he knows why Yao Qian is targeting Yi Yuan, but he did not expect it to be so obvious. He will give Yi Yuan a horse. Yao Qian is a refining pharmacist at the Ouyang family and has a very good relationship with Ouyang Ming. When Zhang Yunhei saw that he was acting as a pickup, he suddenly felt bad. Zhang Yunhei does not think that it is only a coincidence that the Zongmen school Yao Qian came. Sure enough, Yi Yuanzheng entered the door, the smell of gunpowder rose. Originally, he still held a slim attitude and hoped that Yao Qian would give him a face. Who knows that Yao Qian's light words are directly pressing down his stomach. This old one is too much to deceive too much, and one of the spirits is actually a provocative one, and it is too shameless. Although Zhang Yunhei was in contact with Yi Yuan for the first time, he had heard about what he had done. He knew that this kid would definitely not be a baby. He might have been provocative. Zhang Yunhei also knows that Yi Yuan is very enchanting, but the gap between him and Yang Hao is not that big. Even if Yi Yuanzhen's second level of spirits made him very surprised, it could not be Yang Hao's opponent. Zhang Yunhei made a look at Yi Yuan, but Yi Yuan simply ignored him. How? The first person in the millennium. Do you dare to compare it? Yang Hao proudly looked at Yi Yuan and used words to squeeze. The mud bodhisattva still has 3 points of fire, let alone Yi Yuan. Although I don't know why, these two guys are obviously targeting themselves. If Yi Yuan can bear it, he is not Yi Yuan. The challenges of even the mediocrity don't dare to respond, and how dare to call the first person of the millennium? Say, what? Yi Yuan directly took over the name of the first person of the millennium and stepped on Yang Hao. Zhang Yunhe sighed in the heart, this kid really cannot be excited. Yang Hao heard a corner of his mouth, this is the typical color dyeing workshop. However, when I step you under the soles of your feet, I will dare not be so embarrassed. He licked the 2-star badge of Yi Yuanyuan's chest and smiled contemptuously, Yi Shi's realm is too low. If it is a martial art, I will not win anything. Since Yi Shidi is also a teacher, we will compare the medicine. Okay, I don't know what Yi's brother is doing. Yi Yuan smiled and smiled very happy. I have seen stupidity, I have never seen such a stupid. There is no need to choose the refining technique in the realm of the realm. It seems that this guy is very confident in his own refining. But, looking for dandy than the refining technique, I really can think of Yang Hao. Hu Yanyang has never spoken since he entered the house. At this time, he is also expressionless, but his heart is happy. This stupid, even looking for Yi Yuan than refining medicine, looking for pumping is not. If Yi Yuan came to find himself, he really had no confidence in Yi Yuan. But now, he really wants to see the wonderful expression on the face of Yang Hao. Although Hu Yanyang knows nothing about refining, he knows that Jingjing Dan is definitely not a general second-order drug. Even the senior Dan teacher, I am afraid it is difficult to refine. Yang Hao actually and Yi Jing, who can refine the crystal clearing, is better than refining. Isn't this what it is? I don't know why, seeing Yi Yuan smile, Yang Hao's heart is irritated. How? Yi Shidi does not dare to compare. I dare not compare it, but after entering the Zongmen, I will see me walking around. Well, this idea is quite good. If you don't, then who wins? The other party will see each other and walk around. How? Oh, it's really ignorant and fearless. Well, I promise you. Yang Hao confidently filled. Well, what do you say, then what? Yi Yuan asked. Controlling the fire is the basis of the refining pharmacist, and it is also an important criterion for measuring refining medicine. In this way, we take the materials on the spot, and control the fire more than one. I don't know what Yi's brother is doing. Said, Yang Hao pointed to the open fire on the inner wall of the house. Tongming fire is a kind of ground fire, because the brightness is better, so it is commonly used for lighting. Due to the lack of soul power, Dantu's requirements for fire control are not high. When it comes to the realm of Dan Shi, the refining operation is really in the door, and the requirements for fire control are also very high. Yang Hao saw that Yi Yuan was only a junior Dan, and he thought that he had just been in contact with the fire control, and the fire control should be weak. This is the heart that makes Yi Yuan embarrassed. What he didn't know was that Yi Yuan would not only play with fire, but also have a net sandal fire in the body. Chapter 186 Fire Ass. It seems that Master Yang is very confident in his own control of the fire. Okay, it is better than controlling the fire, please ask Master Yang. Yi Yuan said with a smile. Smile. Laugh. You can still laugh at it later. Yang Hao sneered in his heart. Compared with the comprehensive strength of refining, Yang Hao is probably not a great one among the core disciples of Zongmen. But he is able to rank in the top 20 than to control the fire. What is the concept of the top 20? This kind of soil buns will certainly not understand. The genius of Yuyun Zong is not comparable to the doorway outside the district. Like his Yang Hao self-proclaimed talent, in the entire sect, it is just a slag. Those guys in Dantang, one more than enchanting. Being able to enter the top 20 on the fire control, Yang Hao is already proud enough. Hey, look at it, let you look at the bottom of the frog today, what is called a fire control. Said, Yang Hao came to the front of the fire, ******* sighted. The flame was directly out of the lamp, and as Yang Hao's fingertips fluttered, it was extremely dazzling. Yang Hao's hand smashed, igniting into a slender fire dragon, hovering around him, looking very obedient. This hand, the end of the beautiful, people have a pleasing feeling. Suddenly, Yang Hao pointed to the fingertips, and the fire dragon flew out of his body and went straight to the far door of the leaf. Yi Yuan just looked at Yang Hao Shiwei with a smile, and did not mean the slightest shot. Yang Hao's mouth flashed a sneer. This is really burning eyebrows. Yi Yuan is still in the air. Although the power of the open fire is not strong, it will not cause any substantial damage to Yi Yuan, but it is enough to make him gray. Yang Hao seems to have seen Yi Yuan being burnt into a black charcoal head. However, just as the fire dragon was a few inches away from the far side of the leaf, it suddenly jumped. Yang Hao's face changed, and the fire dragon seemed to be out of his and became restless. Ever since his mastery of fire control, he has never encountered this situation. The open fire is only the most common ground fire. For Yang Hao, there is no difficulty at all. How can it be out of control? Is it the ghost of Yi Yuan? However, there is no slight fluctuation in his body. Hell, Yang Hao naturally will not let the open fire out of control, and the teeth will increase the strength to drive. But the open fire seemed to be screwed up with him, and he refused to go half a step. Yang Hao has intensified his efforts. Who knows that he is self-defeating, and the fire is slamming, and he actually squats back and goes straight to Yang Hao. Yang Hao was shocked by this scene, and quickly rushed to control the fire. After all, the Mingming fire was only a low-end flame, and it was suddenly stopped by Yang Hao. By the way, he pointed at his fingertips and turned the fire back into the lamppost. Hey, 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 Yi Yuan clap his hands and admire. Yang Shishong's fire control is really superb, and my brother and I admire it. Just a good risk, I almost burned it to me, thanks to Yang Shishong's mercy. But, play with fire, be careful, Yang brother, don't burn yourself. Yang Hao's face is like a water, and all the presenters are experts. He just showed his mercy and he saw it at a glance. Yi Yuan said this, it is a great irony. But he couldn't figure out how he could suddenly understand how the fire would suddenly be lost. Yi Yuanming did not do anything. Not only did he not understand, but Yao Qian did not understand it. However, his look at Yi Yuan's eyes has become a bit different. Yang Hao wants to burn the leaves with a clear fire, but there is a fourth-order fire in the Yi Yuan. When the fire is close to the leaf, the instinctive feeling is extremely dangerous, and how can it burn to Yi Yuan? This kind of power in the order is not felt by human beings, but the flame itself is very sensitive. Hey, it's up to you, I'm going to have a look, what kind of tricks can you play? Yang Hao said. Oh, Master Yang is already very powerful. Where can I play flowers? Just take a picture of the gourd. Yi Yuan laughed. Yang Hao was stunned by the gods, but Yi Yuan had already reached out to the air and rushed into the hands of Yi Yuan. Seeing this scene, the rest of the four people in the house are shrinking their eyes. Only this hand, Yi Yuan is much better than Yang Hao. Just now, Yang Hao went to the lamp to display the fire control, and then summoned the open fire. The leaves are still a few feet away from the lamp, but it seems to be a random one-handed move, and the fire will fly over. Stand tall. There is no fancy control over the fire, and Yi Yuan is just a palm of his hand. The fire is automatically turned into a fire dragon and turned around Yi Yuan. That looks exactly the same as Yang Hao just now. Yang Hao is so angry that his teeth are creaking, which is simply provoking. Yi Yuan looked at Yang Hao, and suddenly smiled and raised his hand to Yang Hao. Yang Hao was shocked and quickly prepared to respond. After he had printed the seal, he discovered that he had been played by Yi Yuan, and the fire dragon was still wandering around Yi Yuan. Oh, Master Yang is not so nervous, just a joke. Yi Yuan laughed. Yang Hao's face is no longer the original arrogance and calm, and I can't wait to rush to bite the leaves. But at this moment, Yi Yuan spoke again. This time, come true, Master Yang is careful. After that, Yi Yuan is another finger. Still empty fingers. Yang Hao sneered. It doesn't mean anything to do it again. Stupid. Look at you behind. Yao Qian, who has never heard anything, finally made a noise. Yang Hao stunned and turned to look at it, but he saw his behind the fire, and a sigh of sorrow came. Yang Hao was shocked and quickly slammed the flame on his butt. However, his costume has been burned by a clear fire, and two white meats are exposed. Brush it. Yang Hao's face is straight red to the root of the ear. Oh, Yang brother is really careless about the head, how can you be so careless? If you go out to be seen by witch sister, Yang's reputation may soon be passed back to the Zongmen. Yi Yuan laughed. Hu Yanyang is a person who does not laugh, and at this time, he can't help himself. Yi Yuan, you are going to be proud of it. We have the ability to compare it again. Yang Hao was red-faced, apparently already angry. Hey, Master Yang, this is not to lose. This time is better than what? Compared to the martial arts. You are a spirit of 8 weights with me a 2-pronged spirit, even if you win the pass is also a big bully. Yi Yuan pretends to sigh. Okay, losing is losing, isn't it enough to be shameful? Go to change clothes. Yao Qian looked a sinking face and angered Yang Haodao. By Yao Chenny, Yang Hao is like a defeated cock, looking for a private place to change clothes. After Yang Hao left, Yao Chenshi looked at Yi Yuan and said, "It is a hero who is a teenager. I can't think of it, I have such a talented person in the outer gate of the Unianzong." Chapter 187 Hard to Make Do 3 more. Yao Qian was very surprised at this time, because even he did not see clearly, Yi Yuan just how to get the Tongming fire unconsciously get behind Yang Hao. This Yi Yuan's enchanting, far beyond his imagination. It seems that the title of the first person of the millennium may not be unreasonable. The 15-year-old spirit is double, and the speed of this practice is not slow even if it is placed in the Zongmen. Even more frightening is that this Yi Yuan's refining should be very strong. At the same time, I have achieved such achievements in Wudao and Dandao, but only at the age of 15, the future achievements are limitless. However, this Yi Yuan offended the Su family, this time afraid of being killed by the Su family. It is a pity. Yao Qianda has won the prize. What is the first person in the millennium? Yi Yuan is not a must, but it is still a little bit stronger than some mediocrity. Yi Yuan said lightly. This old man is obviously not very kind, and Yi Yuan naturally does not have to be polite. It's a good fang, but young people should learn to converge, otherwise they will suffer. Others respect me a foot, I still have someone else. Others have to take the inch, I let him have no way to enter. This is the principle of my life. Oh, Yunhe, this little doll really has some meaning. Yao Qian did not care about Yi Yuan, turned to Zhang Yunhe Road. Zhang Yunhe was quite awkward and said with a smile, Yi Yuan is this temper, and Yao Qian adults should not know him. How can I get to know a little doll? Yao Qian said lightly. Just then, a voice came from outside the door. The dean is an adult, Longtang asks. Come in, Zhang Yunhe said. The arrival of Longtang also eased some embarrassing atmosphere. However, after he saw Yi Yuan, his eyes suddenly became fierce. This Yi Yuan has actually broken through to the spirit of the two. He had thought that he had broken through to the 5 spirits, and finally he opened Yi Yuan. If Yi Yuan can't break through the spiritual environment, then the battle between him and Yi Yuan is meaningless. But who would have thought that Yi Yuan's progress was not slower than him? Longtang can break through in a month. One is because of his thick accumulation, the second is because he benefits from the 9-day road, and the third is because of Yuan Lingdan. With so many factors in mind, he dared to break through the 2 realms in the short term. However, Yi Yuan went to a boundless forest. When he came back, it was already a double spirit. This speed of progress is terrible. You must know that Yi Yuan has just broken through the vitality of the 9-fold before going to the infinite forest. Yi Yuan also said to him at this time that the 2 men looked at each other with a smile, but did not say much. Zhang Yunhe introduced it. After the completion of the ceremony, Yao Qinkai said, I came here to give the order of the Zongmen. I came to the outer door to lead you into the Zongmen. You passed the Judean road and naturally owned the Zongmen, the identity of the core disciple. But before you get started, you still need to know the rules of my union sect. After entering the sect, you must strictly abide by the rules, otherwise you will be at your own risk. Said, Yao Qian handed out 2 white ons, 2 jade slips in the hands of Yi Yuan and Long Tang. Yi Yuan will sink into the jade slip and read the contents. After reading the content, Yi Yuan is also embarrassed. From the door rules, it can be seen that the competition in Zongmen is much more cruel than Danwu College. That is the real survival of the fittest. Among the Yun Yunzong, it is divided into elite disciples, core disciples and foreign disciples. The normal promotion path, the top students in the outer gate field, pass the advanced level assessment, only qualified to become a foreign disciple. There are 3 ways to become a core disciple. The first way is to promote from the outside disciples, the second way is through the 9-day road. In addition, it is the disciples who have been specially approved by the Zongmen High Level. The elite disciples, like the Danwubang set up by Danwu College, must be Dan Dao or a strong disciple on the martial arts to be competent. Moreover, elite disciples, core disciples and outside disciples are not static. They are ranked every 2 months, and the lower ranks are eliminated to the next level, while the next level disciples who perform well are promoted. Level 1. Therefore, the number of elite disciples and core disciples is basically fixed. If the assessment of the outside disciples is unqualified, it will become a chores. The chores in the Union sect are not in the slightest position. Every day, there are a lot of customs, and there is not much time to practice. Between elite disciples, core disciples and outside disciples, the treatment enjoyed is also very different. At Danwu College, many of them are noble children. For them, the consumption of college resources does not matter at all. Money can be willful, but in the Union Zong is not good. Yu Yunzong, the implementation of the points system. In order to obtain the corresponding cultivation resources, the college must use points to redeem. No points, it is difficult to move in the clouds. Points can't be bought with money. Only by making a certain contribution to Zongmen can you get the corresponding points. It can be seen from this system that if you want to mix in the clouds, it is absolutely impossible. Only by continually practicing, and practicing, can you gain a foothold in the Zongmen. Zongmen is not raising waste. Yao Qian glanced at the 2 people faintly and said, "The rules of the Zongmen are all finished. I can tell you that with your current strength, you can only be ranked in the middle position of the disciples, and there are still some core disciples. A gap, especially Yi Yuan, you only have 2 spirits, and you probably have to be at the bottom of the disciples. So, if you want to get the resources after you join the sect, you still have to hurry and practice cultivation. Otherwise, once the Zongmen contest was brushed down, did the Yunhe face have no light?" Listening to Yao Qian said that Long Tang's eyes looked at Yi Yuan with some weirdness. Yi Yuan's strength can only be bottomed out among the outside disciples. This Yao Qian certainly does not know the terrible things of Yi Yuan. Even if I break through to the 5 spirits now, I dare not say that I will win. Even if he only has the strength of the middle field disciple, Yi Yuan is definitely similar to himself. At the bottom, that is impossible, and with the speed of Yi Yuan's progress, I am afraid that I will soon be able to gain a foothold in the core disciples after entering the sect. Yao Qian saw Longtang's eyes and said faintly, "You don't have a clear understanding of the power of the Zongmen disciples. I just want to tell you, don't be naive to think that you can fight more and more. Find out how weak you are." Longtang heard a glimpse of his heart, but Yi Yuan was laughing. Yao Qian really likes to worry about it. With this leisure time, it is better to teach you the mediocrity. I see his level, after we go to the Zongmen. When a core disciple is still barely okay. Chapter 188 I will handle it. Yao Qian's eyes showed a hint of coldness. Obviously, Yi Yuan did not put him in his eyes again and again, and he was really angry. Yao Qian's status in Zongmen is not low. When his disciples met him, he was respectful. When did anyone dare to hit him like this? Yi Yuan has not even entered the door now, but if he enters the door, he still has it. Of course, he certainly will not reflect on it. It is his own provocation that Yi Yuan is at the forefront. Oh, good, very good, Yi Yuan, with your current realm, you can only enter the bottom of the martial arts. But your Dandao talent is good. If you enter Dantang, you may still have the opportunity to keep the core disciples. However, I am afraid I have not told you that my identity in Zongmen is Elder Dantang. Yao Qian's words are threatening naked. The meaning of the words is obvious. After you enter the Zongmen, don't commit it in my hands. Of course, with the dual realm of Yi Yuanling liquid, entering the Wutang can only be broken into the outside disciples. At that time, how do you want to take it? Isn't it a matter of his Yao Qian's words? Yi Yuan grinned. Is it? It seems that in order to avoid Yao Elder, I can only enter the martial arts. Hey, this is not bad. At the level of your apprentice, I entered Dangtang and I am not going to be killed. Well, Yi Yuan, you will say less. Yao Qian, Elder, Yi Yuan, he. Zhang Yunhe saw Yi Yuan repeatedly hit Yao Qian, could not help but swear. It was only at this time that Yao Qian suddenly got up and said, Dean Master, you are a good student. I see your achievements. I don't want to get the lower half of Ziyang's soul in this life. Quote. After that, Yao Qian did not care about the retention of Zhang Yunhe and left directly. Zhang Yunhe smashed Yi Yuan, and finally he was helpless. You kid, how to provoke things. The school has been turned upside down, this door has not been entered, and the ancestral elders have been offended. Waiting for you to enter the door, you can have a good feeling. Here, you are holding it, but when you enter the Zongmen, you can be unaccompanied, who can protect you? Hu Yanyang is also frowning. Yes, Yi Yuan, the husband can bend and stretch, waiting for you to be strong, promoted to an elite disciple. You don't have to look at Yao Qian's face, why should you offend him now? Haha, then Yao Qian and Yang Hao are clear about me. Even if I ask for it, they will let me go. Not necessarily. Such a person, offended, no big deal. But the dean, just Yao Qian, what does it mean to say, Ziyang's soul? Listening to the name, should it be the practice of the soul? Yi Yuanhe does not care. Zhang Yunhe sighed and knew that Yi Yuan was right. For Yao Qian's origins, he is much clearer than Yi Yuan and Hu Yanyang. In fact, he still holds the luck of luck and hopes that both sides can live in harmony. Who knows that Yao Qian will not give himself a face, and he will give Yi Yuan a horse. It is a pity that the next Ma Wei did not give it, but instead collapsed. You said it is good. Ziyang's soul is the soul repairing method, and it is the most powerful soul repairing method of the Yunzong. The elders of Dantang basically cultivated this soul, and I am. The Ziyang soul is divided into upper and lower parts. The upper part allows the refining pharmacist to cultivate to the realm of the Dayton division, while the lower part is able to cultivate to the realm of the Dan Emperor. Unfortunately, since the Ouyang Tuoshan ancestor, Yu Yunzong, no one has ever been able to cultivate to the realm of the Emperor. Zhang Yunhe's eyes are full of regrets, and it is obviously very revered for Ouyang Tuoshan. In conjunction with Yao Qian's departure, Yi Yuan's heart suddenly became clear, saying, the dean's adult came to the Qin State Danwu College to earn points in exchange for the second half of this, Ziyang's soul. Zhang Yunhe nodded bitterly and said, yes, I was born in Dantang. Before coming to Qin State, I was a deacon of Dantang. Ziyang's soul requires too many points. With my status in Zongmen, it is impossible to accumulate. With so many points, I found the difference. I thought I could train a few talents for Zongmen, but whoever thought of coming to Qin for so many years, Danwu College has not improved. In these years, Mo Yuntian a genius. This time, I was very happy with the genius of Yuan Longtang who had passed through 9 days. I didn't expect it to be the result. After a pause, Zhang Yunhe said, after you enter the Zongmen, Ouyang Ming and Yao Qian will definitely try to suppress you, so you must pick up your tail and be a man. Especially Yi Yuan, I know that you are talented, but now the realm of the situation is too low. Yao Qian has a good saying. The power of the sect is unimaginable. Therefore, you should upgrade the realm as soon as possible and stabilize the position of the core disciples. Do you understand? Ouyang Ming. Yi Yuan heard a word. Yes, Ouyang's family is very powerful in Zongmen Dantang, and Ouyang Ming is also the elder of Dantang, and he is in opposition to Yao Qian. Zhang Yunhe wrote. There is still this relationship, no wonder this old child will target me. Listening to Zhang Yunhe said, Yi Yuan's heart suddenly became clear. It seems that you already know the background of the Su family, I don't need to remind you. But recently the imperial city is surging, your father is at the cusp of the wind, your father and son are still acting with all care. In my opinion, your father is still active. It's good to withdraw from this whirlpool, why bother to be the royals? Obviously, Zhang Yunhe knows the direction of Qin Guo, but his identity is detached and he is not allowed to participate. Yi Yuan shook his head and said, Our hatred of Yi Jia and Wan Jia and Su Jia can't be solved at all. Even if they don't do so many things, the two are destined to be destroyed. Zhang Yunhe couldn't help but a cold air, which is domineering. It is him Zhang Yunhe, who dare not say that they have destroyed these two families, but they are so natural from Yi Yuan's mouth. You must know that these two big families are as strong as those who have a strong condensed crystal. On the other side of Yi Yuan, the uncle who has never appeared in the south and the royal family is only 3. It's too hard for the two sides to get rid of each other. Yi Yuan, why? Yi Yuan, your future is not limited, don't act recklessly. Your strength is not enough to watch in this storm, but don't ruin your great future because of this worldly thing. Zhang Yunhe rode. Zhang Yunhe obviously also moved the heart of love, and did not want Yi Yuan to have any accidents. Yi Yuanchang gave Zhang Yunhe a gift and said, "The dean is relieved, I have a lot of thoughts in my heart. Thank you for taking care of me during this time. I will go back to the imperial city tomorrow. I will wait until the imperial city is settled. I will come again." The dean said goodbye. As for the Ziyang soul, it is on me. Chapter 189 Become Beautiful. Package on you. Zhang Yunhe heard a word. Not bad. The role of Zongman as a gate field is not to tap talents. As long as I can become an elite disciple, the dean's merits, is it almost the same? Yi Yuan said. The words are good, but become elite disciples, too difficult and too difficult. I know that you are talented, but the elite disciples in the Zongman, each person's talent is no worse than you. Zhang Yunhe shook his head. Yi Yuan smiled, but there was no excuse, but Hu Yanyang said at this time, President, I believe that Yi Yuan can become an elite disciple. Although Yao said that Yi Yuan's strength is too low, I feel that Yi Yuan is in the core disciples and should be able to stand firm quickly. Zhang Yunhe reveals the difference, he has never seen it, and Hu Yanyang is so optimistic about a student. From Zhang Yunhe, Yi Yuan went directly to the south wind if it was sunny. Aunt, how are you? I am better off. Nanfeng excitedly asked the south wind if it was clear. Yi Yuan has helped her and Nanfeng Ruoqing to refine her presence in Yandan. After she took it, an unspeakable feeling flowed in the blood, and her body seemed to have some unspeakable changes. If the south wind looked at the southerly wind and squeezed her little face, she was surprised. You have almost dripped water from your skin, and it feels like a newborn baby. Is it really amazing to stay in Yandan? It is not that the Qin state does not have the remedy for the beauty of the face, but the efficacy of this remedy is only to delay aging. As time goes by, it is still possible to leave traces of the years on the person's face. Moreover, such medicinal drugs often have such side effects, and will gradually appear after a long time. Even so, such medicinal herbs have made some aristocratic women rush, and often they are hard to find. Yi Yandan of Yi Yuan refining system has such an effect. Once it is put on the market, it will definitely be priced at a high price. Ah, look, the old man in my hand is gone. Said, the south wind shook his hand. If the south wind looks sunny, it is really. Don't look at the south winds, which is a princess with thousands of pets, but in order to pursue martial arts, this bitterness is not eaten. Because she is a warrior with a sword, it has been inevitable for many years to get started. It is the hands that say that Nanfeng is most dissatisfied with himself. Now, her hands are white and tender, so I can't see it. It's like being a deep lady, not like a warrior. I can't think of it. Yi Yuan can refine such a magical remedy. And he also said that this resident Yandan not only has no side effects, but also has the effect of improving physical fitness. Can a second-order medicinal drug achieve such an effect? The south wind is incredible if it is sunny. She has always been proud of her own Dandao, but since she met Yi Yuan, she knew that she was the frog at the bottom of the well. Ah, Aunt! Nanfeng screamed and exclaimed, what are you doing with a slap in the face? The south wind smashed into the face of the south wind, and was surprised. Aunt, you were not like my aunt before, but now it is not like my aunt. Dead girl, I am not your aunt, who else? After you took down Yandan, you are just like me as a twin sister. Although you are not very old, but now you are young and young. Nanfeng was surprised. Yi Yuan refines a group of Yandan, and gives the Nanfeng Ru Qinggu a singer. In addition, He also left one for each mother and green child. Ah, really? If the south wind touched his face, he was surprised. Really, really true than real gold. There is a mirror here, you take a snapshot, said Nanfang Ji-ru, holding a mirror and handing it to the south wind. If the south wind looks sunny at the mirror, he surprises, it's really. Now, I seem to be back 2 or 3 years ago, almost as big as you. Even if the south wind is very quiet, it is a great surprise. As long as it is a woman, there is no resistance to this kind of beauty. Giggle, go out later, people may think that I am your sister. Nanfang Ji-ru suddenly fantasized about this scene, laughing and closing his mouth. Death gimmick, no matter what I become, is your aunt. If this is heard by the emperor, it must be closed to you. The south wind sings out the tongue and spits out the tongue. Well, aunt, you look at it, green seems to have a movement. Nanfang suddenly said, a big smile. Listening to the south wind, so shouting, the two quickly came to the bed. I saw the green eyelids fretting, it seems that I really want to wake up. The cold poison of the green child is very powerful, and it has already reached the edge of the rapid outbreak. Therefore, after she took Yuanyang Dan, she could not wake up temporarily. Yi Yuan predicted that it would take about 2 or 3 days. It's just been 2 days now, and the green child wakes up. The green child's breathing became smoother, slowly opened his eyes, and his eyes were a little confused. What is this? Is it dead? You are a stupid girl, take a good look at who we are. Are you cursing us to die? Nanfang did not have a good air. When Nanfang Ruoking pulled her clothes and glanced at her, she said to the green children, I am the south wind, if you don't remember me. Greener carefully looked at the south wind if it was sunny, and suddenly surprised. Ah! You are not a wind teacher. How does it seem to be different? It seems to be getting younger. Sorry, If the south wind is sunny and red, he said, this is thanks to your young master. He has refining a kind of remedy for us. After we take it, it becomes like this. Right, how do you feel now? In order to save you, your young master is born and died this month. Greener heard a big alarm. Young master, is he okay? Haha, of course it's okay. Your young master's life is hard, how can it be so easy to die? Just then, there was a big laugh outside, it was Yi Yuan. As soon as the green child heard Yi Yuan's voice, he immediately overjoyed and climbed out of bed. Yi Yuan quickly went up and replied, blaming, let me lie down. What are you doing? You are still a little weak, take a rest. Green children saw Yi Yuan, tears could not stop flowing. Young master, I thought I would never see the young master again, hee. Yi Yuan gently caressed the green hair of the child, smiled and said, stupid girl, there is a young master, how can you die? It is you who entered the palace, the young master can pull you back. Well, don't think about it, I have prepared some remedies for you to recover. You have to adjust your interest and then we will go home. Chapter 190 Godfather Alchemy 3 more. Yi Jia backyard, Yi Heng and Yi Yuan sit opposite each other. Far away, I haven't seen you for a month. I can't think of you breaking through to the spirit of the two. Yi Heng looked at Yi Yuan and was proud of his face. Seeing his son progress quickly, he is even more happy than his own breakthrough. Oh, the realm of Father's condensed crystals has also stabilized, and it has also successfully broken through to the intermediate Dayton division. This time Wan Donghai engaged in this Pindan conference, fearing that it would be necessary to lift a rock and lick its own feet. Yi Yuanshao rode. Haha, this is still your credit. If you didn't pass the 2 exercises to me, this time we can only avoid the edge of the medicine. Hey, avoid it, Wanjia and Sujia, this time I must pull them uprooted. If it wasn't for my life, I was killed several times by the 2 people. Speaking of Wanjia and Sujia, Yi Yuan is very resentful. Counting the predecessor, the 10,000 and Su family have no more than 3 or 4 times. Especially Su Yubai, if it wasn't for the key moment of Huyanyang, he had already become a dead soul. Yi Heng is shaking his head and sighing. Even if my strength has a breakthrough, I want to pull up the 2 roots, I am afraid that there is still no way to catch it. Father, rest assured that although you are fighting against the royal family, I will give them a big surprise at the crucial moment. Oh, how do you say this? Yi Hang said slightly. In Qin, the Su family is extremely strong, and even the royal family is very taboo. More importantly, the Su family has a backing in the Union Zong, and the Nanfang family has been afraid to act rashly. The power of Zongmen is not something that the royal family can compete with. Ouyang home alone, just send a crystal of 7 or 8 heavy, you can sweep the royal family. Not to mention that the condensed crystal environment is only a start in the Zongmen power. Father, come with me. Yi Yuan got up and went to the alchemy room dedicated to Yi Hang. Yi Hang saw the mysterious secret of Yi Yuanshan, and he could not help but follow. When I came to the alchemy room, Yi Yuan made a ban in the alchemy room and said to Yi Hang, "Father, look." Said, Yi Yuan took a hand, a white colobus appeared out of thin air, it is flying. However, the status of Fei Fei is obviously not very good. He was seriously injured by the old black crow and has not recovered yet. Although his injury has no life, he wants to recover, but it takes at least a month. Yi Yuan is still unable to refine the third-order remedy, so there is no way to help Fei Fei recover the injury. However, the emergence of Fei Fei was to surprise Yi Hang. If the sun didn't just let him pay attention, he might have attacked the squad at this time. Hey, the third-order monster. Is it just the space spirit? Yi Hang's eyes were full of shock, and the eyes that looked at Yi Yuan were full of incredible. Yi Yuan smiled and said, "Yes, it is the third-order monsters and the armpits and the space spirit. His name is Fei Fei. It is the servant who I went to the infinite forest. This space is also all about flying. Just in order to protect me, he was injured by a strong man and has not recovered yet." This time, Yi Hang was shocked for a long time, and said, "What kind of strong can actually hurt a third-order monster? You participated in the infinite trial, this has caused such a terrible strong." If Yi Yuan is not his own son, he must have thought that the other party is talking nonsense. Also, Yi Yuankai broke through the spiritual environment soon, how did he conquer a third-order monster? This is incredible. For his father, Yi Yuan did not mean to hide it. He simply said this trip to the infinite forest, and he heard that Yi Hang was speechless for a long time. However, Yi Yuan did not say that he was confronted with a strong sea power. He only said that he had encountered a strong man in the middle of the condensed crystal environment. The two sides fought a battle, and Fei Fei was seriously injured. Although he has a cheap master as a scorpion, but the spirit of the two killed a strong sea power, it is too ridiculous. Yi Hang has been very pleased with the rise of his son, but he never found out that Yi Yuan has grown to such a degree without knowing it. After the shock, Yi Hang has a feeling of relief. Son no longer need to grow under his wings. Yi Yuan has grown into a towering tree. I really can't think of it. You have such an experience in the infinite forest. You can sweep the Qin country only by this one-handed stone scorpion. Yi Hang exclaimed. Thousands of heads are smashing. This power is placed in the world, too strong. Father, Fei Fei's injury is quite heavy, but I am too weak now, can't refine the third-order healing remedy. I will bring you here, just want you to refine the remedy for him. Yi Yuan said. Those injured second-order arm sarcophagus, Yi Yuan had already refining the medicinal herbs to cure them. It's just the injury of Fei Fei. He has no way but he has been dragging it to the present. But, I will not refine the medicinal herbs used in the monsters. Yi Hang heard a word, but he never learned the refining method of the demon animal. Nothing, Shizan, his old man once taught me Dan and the refining method. I will give them all to you, and then assist you in refining, and you should be successful. Yi Yuan said. This healing medicinal drug is not a complicated drug. Yi Hang has already broken through the realm of the middle-level Dan division, and Yi Yuan, the Dan Emperor, has guided from the side, and refining is still not a problem. Your master is really a scholar of heaven and earth, and even the refining method of the demon animal will be good. Good, for the father to learn the law of refining the demon animal medicine. Yi Hang is also a Dan idiot. When he heard that he could learn the refining method of the new medicinal medicine, he immediately became like a chicken blood. Well, this medicinal medicine is called Shungu Dan. I am ready for the medicinal herbs. Now I will pass the refining method to my father. After that, Yi Yuan threw a jade slip to Yi Hang, and Yi Hang's ***** sank into it and began to study the refining method of the birth of the bone. Yi Yuan has long been ready to let Yi Hang help to refine the medicinal herbs, so at the time of the palace, it has already prepared the corresponding medicinal materials. Although the third-order medicinal herbs are very precious, they are hard to beat the royal family. The medicinal materials required for the raw bones are very common, and the south wind will be ready soon. When Yi Hang graduated from the practice of bone refining, Yi Yuan had already prepared all the medicinal materials and refined them into medicine embryos. Yi Hang is only responsible for the final refining, which also ensures maximum success rate. After 2 hours, Yi Hang woke up from his meditation and saw that Yi Yuan had already refining the medicine embryo, which could not help but be secretly surprised. "Okay, let's start refining," said Yi Hang. "Well, I have prepared a total of 5 herbs, which should be enough for my father to refine the birth of the bones." My father began to refine. I will remind my father what to do at a critical moment. Yi Yuan said. Yi Hang nodded, one hand and one trick, and a drug embryo came into his hand. Chapter 191 White Light Evolution. Father, at this time, the drug is the most unstable, try to use the soul to stabilize the drug structure. It's going to be condensed soon. My father will reduce the flames quickly. When you are born, you can't temper with a big fire. This is already the third medicinal material. Yi Hang's first 2 refining projects ended in failure. Yi Yuan has been watching the process of alchemy on the sidelines and pointing from the side, but Yi Hang has failed. Although Yi Hang's refining is full of holes in Yi Yuan's eyes, he is now weak and only relying on Yi Hang. Fortunately, Yi Hang's alchemy level is not bad. After 2 failures and Yi Yuan's guidance from the side, Yi Hang's progress is still very large. This third refining was obviously smoother. Some of the previous stagnations have now mellowed a lot. Of course, thanks to Yi Yuan's meticulous guidance. Otherwise, he will prepare 10 copies of the medicinal herbs for Yi Hang, and he will probably have to squander it. After all, this is his first refining of the demon animal, and the essentials to pay attention to when refining the demon animal is completely different from human beings. With Yi Yuan's vision to guide Yi Hang, many places are very targeted, so that Yi Hang has a feeling of swaying. So he only practiced twice, and he knew everything about his mistakes. Blood Dan, condensate. With Yi Hang's low drink, Shenggu Dan was finally refining him. Yi Hang took the birth of the bone Dan from the medicine Ding, but he sighed, "It's a pity, it is the next product." "No problem, my father is already very powerful. We have 2 herbs left, and we should be able to refine Chinese and even top grades." Yi Hang nodded. "Well, I will try again." The 4th medicine embryo, Yi Hangjing made a middle product. Until the last medicine embryo, Yi Hang really refining the Shengpinsheng bone Dan. Yi Yuan saw that Dan Cheng could not help but shine. The father's alchemy talent is really not high. This comprehension ability is not comparable to that of the general Dan Dan. Although he had been guided from the side, but only using 5 medicines to refine the top-grade raw bones, are greatly out of Yi Yuan's expectations. His original estimate was that his father could only produce Chinese products or even products. Unexpectedly, Yi Hang overtook the task. Before Yi Yuan had never seen his father alchemy, he did not have an intuitive understanding of Yi Hang's refining techniques. Now he knows that his father is only limited to the soul force and will always be suppressed by Wan Donghai. Now that he is on the opposite side of Wan Donghai is definitely no longer his father's opponent. Refining the top-grade raw bone Dan, Yi Yuan a tight string also loosened. After all, the third-order medicine is not Chinese cabbage, and it is impossible to spend as much as a second-order medicine. Yi Yuan took the bones of the bones and gave them to the flying clothes. "Thank you for the young master. These days, he has been suffering from painful injuries, but he did not complain about Yi Yuan, because he knows that Yi Yuan is hurt more than him. If Yi Yuan did not prepare the healing remedy in advance, now I am afraid that it is already dead." Yi Yuan smiled and said, "What kind of politeness with me? This time it is not you, I am afraid there is no return. But I am not strong enough now, but it makes you suffer. This is nothing to hurt, but it makes me miss the years before. I have been pampered in Chifengling for many years. I am afraid that it is also a reason why I can't break through. But I saw the young man's refining technique, but now I am very fortunate to be able to follow the young master. Fei Fei said with emotion. A Dan teacher, even guiding a great Dan teacher to refine the medicinal herbs, is really too subversive. Although Fei Fei does not understand alchemy, he can see that Yi Yuan's alchemy level is much higher than his father. It is not a grade. As long as Yi Yuan breaks through the condensed crystal environment and becomes a great Dan teacher, refining the demon crystal Dan is definitely a matter of course. Although it is not known why Yi Yuan's alchemy level is higher than his father, it is not important. What is important is that Yi Yuan can bring him great strength. Perhaps, he flew in the middle of his life to hit the fourth order monster, not without hope. Yi Yuan knows what Fei Fei is thinking, and smiles. Oh, rest assured, maybe it will take a year, I will be able to refine the demon crystal. Now, refining the medicine, restoring strength, after 2 days there is a place for you to contribute. Fei Fei nodded, did not say anything, began to run Yuanli refining and chemical power. Yi Yuan no longer cares about flying, but also a one-handed move. A kitten appears out of thin air, it is white light. It's just that white light is sleeping at this time, and it's called not to wake up. This situation has lasted for 2 days, and Yi Yuan is also somewhat inexplicable. In these 2 days, Yi Yuan refines a lot of medicinal herbs, and naturally he will not forget to refine the medicinal herbs for white light. White light is only a first-order monster, which is naturally not a problem for Yi Yuan. And the first-order materials are all available. Yi Yuan refines thousands of medicinal herbs in one breath, intending to use white light slowly. Who knows that Yi Yuan will release the white light? This little guy sees those medicinal herbs, and instantly blinks his eyes, swallowing thousands of medicinal herbs in one breath, and seeing Yi Yuan stunned. It's him, he doesn't dare to swallow this medicine. Is this little thing looking for death? Yi Yuan was shocked and was about to let the white light spit out the medicinal herbs. Who knows that the little guy had a full stomach, and he fell asleep. At the beginning, Yi Yuan thought that white light was dead, and he went up to check. This check, Yi Yuan is not amazed, this little guy breathes smoothly, just fell asleep, and this is what he puts down. However, this sleep is 2 days, and there is no sign of waking up in white light. Although Yi Yuan has studied a lot of monsters, I have never seen this situation before, so I have to check the status of white light at any time. Yi Yuan also checked for white light and found that white light still showed no signs of waking up, or he was still asleep, how could he not wake up? However, Yi Yuan found that the smell of white light is much stronger, but it has already broken through. The original white light was only the first stage of the first stage. After sleeping for 2 days, it has quietly broken through to the first stage. Is this little guy automatically refining the drug in sleep? This is too easy, right? Yi Yuan is more and more curious about the origin of white light. It seems that white light is not an ordinary streamer white tiger. Yi Yuan has never heard of it. The streamer white tiger has the treasure of magic, and has not heard of the streamer white tiger can evolve like this. However, the characteristics of white light is clearly a streamer white tiger. This is why Yi Yuan is also puzzling. It seems that only when he awakens the memory of inheritance can he understand what is happening in white light. I don't understand, Yi Yuan simply didn't want to. After receiving the white light, Yi Yuan and Yi hang meditation together to practice, quiet and wait for the fly to heal. In the blink of an eye, Yu Fei suddenly opened his eyes and stood up. Young master, I am already fine. Chapter 192 Really a good dog. Song family owner, Song Tianying. Jingdan building, Zhongshin. Wang Jiajia, Wang Jia. Comma. In front of the gate of the Drunk Star building, a manager kept registering loudly. The owner of the big family, the peers in the refining industry, the warriors who were in the limelight, and the faces of the people in the imperial city, almost all gathered in the Drunk Star building. Haha, the Song family is coming to visit, it's really radiant. Please sit inside. Hey, isn't this the landlord of Zhong? I haven't seen you for a long time, I haven't seen it for a long time. Please, Please inside. Wan Dongyang welcomed the guests at the door and was very busy. Anyone can see that Wan Dongyang's face is proud. Although Wan Dongyang is polite, but the feeling of being incomprehensible, let these aristocrats with head and face have a bit of darkness in their hearts. However, they are not happy again, and there is no way. Because from today, the Drunk Star Building is the deserved king of the Qingguodan medicine industry. Even the royal family, I am afraid I have to rely on the breath of the Drunk Star Building. Because the royal family wants to train talents, they have to buy the medicinal herbs of the Drunk Star Building, otherwise their younger generation will lag behind other families. The most important thing is to fall behind the Su family. Everyone has already thought that the medicine incense will disappear from the imperial city. The power of the royal family to pull out the Drunk Star Building will completely collapse. But there is no way to launch 3 new medicinal herbs at one time. The impact of the administration of Shangge is too great. Therefore, Wan Dongyang is qualified for the world. The main lord of the medicinal fragrant cabinet leaves. The Uncle Nanfang Building, the Long Princess South Wind is sunny. The management again shouted loudly. It is also a coincidence that Yi Hang actually arrived at the same time as the representative of the Nanfang family. Holding such a prosperous world, whoever comes first will not be free to do what he wants. Those who went in before, although they all have the characters in the imperial city, but compared with the characters that appear now, they are insignificant. It should be said that the more first comes, the smaller the force, the later it arrives, the more important it is. According to common sense, the representative of the royal family should be the last. But now, Nanfang Building is not the last one, because the representatives of Sujia have not come yet. When Wan Dongyang saw Nanfanglo and Nanfang Ruaoking, he quickly went up and gave a ceremony. Wan Dongyang met with the uncle and met the princess. Nanfang Building frowned, not pleased. Wan Donghai, I am waiting for the royal family to come, his master does not know to come out to meet. For the disappointment of Nanfang Building, Wan Dongyang did not see it, but just lost his smile. The uncle is pleased to anger, there are too many guests today, and his brother is busy in it. It is really innocent, so I am here to greet you. Uncle Huang and the princess. There is no reason for this. This Qin country is still the world of the Nanfang family. Do you dare to be so arrogant? Nanfanglo heard the words. Oh, Emperor Huang also saw that there are too many people in this pinnacle meeting. We are the first time to hold such a grand event. We really have no experience. If you are not well received, please also Uncle Huang Han. Although Wan Dongyang is not the owner of the Drunk Star Building, but also a compatriot of the brother's brother, the second master of the Drunk Star Building, is it okay to meet the uncle? Wan Dongyang, a pair of smiles, did not laugh at the sound of the meet. In the secular, the imperial power is supreme. Nanfang Building is the uncle of the Emperor's Majesty Nanfang Yi, representing the entire royal family. Even if Wan Donghai is busy again, he should also welcome Nanfang Building here. However, Wan Donghai avoided it, which is obviously to give the royal family a downroar. Today, this pinnacle meeting, the meaning of drunkenness is not in the wine. Hey, it seems that the Drunk Star Building really does not put the royal family in the eyes. If so, Chinger, let's go. After that, Nanfang Building really wants to go. Wan Dongyang did not mean to block it. He just smiled and watched Nanfang Building leave. The uncle is walking slowly. At this moment, a slightly tender voice sounded. It was Yi Yuan who came with Yi Hang. When Nanfanglo heard it, it stopped. Nanfang Building is obviously also a Dan, and there is no experience in how to deal with such a situation. This bureau is on the bright side of the medicine, and actually goes straight to the royal family. This point, the discerning eye will understand at a glance. If no one is present in the royal family today, it will be equal to the first. Those inside, not necessarily no one is loyal to the royal family, but the world of mankind has always been a good word for the top, and whoever is the emperor is no different to them. Therefore, even if Wanjia gives it to Mawei, Nanfang Building can't go. At this pinnacle meeting, the royal family must have someone present. Otherwise, those wall grasses that do not know the truth will really fall to the Su family. If the south wind is clear, it is Yi Yuan, and it is not slightly strange. She is also caught off guard at this moment. I don't know what to do. When hesitating should not go, Yi Yuan spoke out in a timely manner. Little doll, what do you want to say? Nanfeng Building frowned. Yi Yuan did not pay attention to the Nanfeng Building, but the voice of the scholarly management shouted, Su Sujia's owner Su Yulin. Wan Dongyang's face changed, while others were unclear, but they saw Wan Dong's ocean with a smile on his face and quickly walked out. Only he just came out, the smile on his face was dead there. When I saw Nanfeng Building and Yi Hang, Wan Donghai immediately knew that it was fooled. Sweeping over everyone's face, only Yi Yuan smiled and looked at him. Wan Donghai's face is heavy, and it's the ghost of this kid. He has already come out, and naturally he is not good enough to go in again, so he has to slap on his scalp to see him. Wan Donghai met with the uncle, and met the Long Princess. Toyo, you are really, the uncle and the Long Princess are coming, why don't you call me? Wan Donghai did not give others the opportunity to speak, immediately reprimanded Wan Dongyang. Wan Dongyang immediately agreed, blaming himself, the East is my fault. I am watching you are too busy behind, no time to greet the guests, just shut up. Is the uncle and the princess an ordinary person? Wan Donghai yelled and turned to the south wind corridor. She is not sensible, and the uncle is not to be surprised. Nanfenglo is about to talk, but Yi Yuan laughed happily. When the landlord, it is a waste of you not to be a playman. Ha ha ha, laugh at me. Ha ha ha, you two sing one and the other, really funny. Quote. Wan Donghai's face was black, and he knew that the kid was Fang's and he was brought into the ditch more and more, so he ignored him. However, Yi Yuan apparently did not let him go. He continued to laugh. When you are $1 million master, you are really a good dog. When you hear the master come, you just ran out of it. Just inside, is it right? Listening with your ears. Yi Yuan, the uncle and the princess are here, I want you to let go. In a few words, Wan Donghai went to the edge of the runaway. Chapter 193 Don't hinder me from loading. Haha, Wan Donghai, you are really courageous. Actually dare to talk to the core disciples of Yu Yunzong. Yi Yuan suddenly condensed a smile, cold and cold. Wan Donghai's face changed, he really forgot, Yi Yuan has already obtained the identity of the core disciple of Yu Yunzong. The core disciple of Yu Yunzong is more honorable than the secular emperor. If there is no accident, many of the core disciples will hold important positions in the Zongmen. In front of Yi Yuan, what is his Wan Donghai? How, in the eyes of the main building of Wan, is your master more honorable than the identity of my core disciple? I have been standing here for a long while, you don't know how to come out. Yi Yuaniu said that the more fierce. Wan Donghai's old face became a chameleon and has changed into several colors. The hate in his heart. Although I know that Yi Yuan is a fox, it is the best way to take the other side. Yi Yuan's current identity is too sensitive. In the face of so many people, Wan Donghai dared to disrespect the core disciples of the Shangzong. If you do that, even if you get rid of Yi Yuan, if you pass it to Yu Yunzong, it is not enough for him to die 10,000 times. The power of the Zongmen is simply unimaginable. This point, the Wan Donghai experience as a great Dan teacher is naturally deeper. Well, is it my core disciple of the Shangzong, not enough to let you see? Yi Yuan frowned. Wan Donghai bit his teeth and was about to meet. A voice came. This door has not yet entered. Yi Shidi is really a great prestige. The stipulation of Zongmen allows disciples to deceive people outside. Everyone heard the words turned around, but they saw 3 people coming together, 2 old and 1 small. The 2 old people are not others, it is Su Yulin and Su Yubai. The one who walks in the middle is the small one. This is also the old acquaintance of Yi Yuan. Who is Yang Hao? The voice just made was sent by Yang Hao. Wan Donghai saw Yang Hao, such as Meng Dajin, and quickly went to see the ceremony. Wan Donghai meets Yang Dongzi. Yang Hao waved his hand and gestured to Wan Donghai to get up, but it was against Yi Yuandao. Yi Shidi, this is what you are wrong with. Our disciples are going out, and we must be convinced by morality. How can we force others to meet? At this time, Yang Hao regained the high posture. Yi Yuan did not speak, just looking at Yang Hao behind him, like looking for something. Yang Hao couldn't help but wonder, looking back at Yi Yuan's gaze, but he didn't see anything. However, he immediately reacted to what Yi Yuan meant. He couldn't help but find a hole in the hole. This is a threat, naked threat. If Yi Yuan speaks out the fighting in front of so many people, what other faces does he have to stay here? Don't say that I am here, that is, he can't stay in Qin. The senior Dan Shi and the junior Dan Shi fight, and the result is burned out by others. The majesty of his core disciple will be gone. Moreover, a veteran core disciple, even a newcomer who has not yet started, is better than others. What kind of eyes will others look at him? Everyone is not clear, so I follow Yi Yuan's gaze and find that there is nothing. I don't know what Yi Yuan is doing in the old. However, when they saw Yang Hao's face, they knew that something had happened between the two. It's just that Yi Yuan has been laughing and not talking, and he doesn't know what medicine he sells in his gourd. Do nothing, I will watch. Yi Yuan, if you dare to say this thing, I promise you will die very hard. Yang Hao threatened. Hey, I am courageous, Master Yang cannot scare me. I have a problem with this person. If you are scared, you can't control your mouth. If you say something, Yang brother cannot blame me. Yi Yuansheng go back. It's mean. Good, what do you want to say? Yang Hao had no choice but to give in. Hey, I haven't thought about it yet. Now, don't hinder me from loading it. I haven't easily passed the 9-day road, got the identity of the core disciple, and always let me put a force in the secular. Otherwise I went to the Zong door. I am the bottom of the bottom, I want to install it cannot be installed. Yi Yuan said. Well, I don't talk. Yang Hao finally chose to compromise, and he can only compromise. Everyone also saw that the two men were talking, but they didn't know what the two were saying. Suddenly, Yi Yuan's face was cold again, to Wan Donghai. You still have to come and see, do you really despise the Shangzong? A big hat was buckled again, but this time Wan Donghai did not have any confusion before, because there is still a core disciple. Wan Donghai looked at Yang Hao with eager eyes, but Yang Hao looked cold and said, What are you doing? Going to see me, my Yang Hao's younger brother, can't you worship? Hey, what's going on? Everyone is dumbfounded. Yi Hang, Nan Feng Lu, Nan Feng Ruo Qing, Su Yulin brothers, collective dumbfounded. What is this? The face is getting too fast, right? Wasn't it just ready to work with Yi Yuan? How did you turn the wind in the blink of an eye, and Yi Yuan became a brother? Of course, the most dumbfounded is Wan Donghai. He was just about to get his waist up, and now he has to bend down. This old waist. Seeing that Wan Donghai did not move for a long time, Yang Hao was impatient. How? Wanlu, I have not heard of my words. Wan Donghai's grievances, he and Yi Hang have been fighting for so many years, have not met each other, but now they have to meet his son. What are you? Hurry up. You want this Dandan conference, do you want to open it? Yang Hao frowned. Wan Donghai knows that he can't hide, and he bites his teeth and screams at Yi Yuan deeply. Wan Donghai meets with the real person Yi Zizi. Yi Yuan haha smiled and said, The Wanlu Lord is pleased to pick up, this prayer really makes me use it. After that, Yi Yuan suddenly turned to Su Yulin and smiled. Su family, is it for you? Su Yulin glanced, did not expect Yi Yuan actually pointed his gun at himself. When he reacted, he couldn't help but be furious. Speaking of it, in the Qin state, his position in the Su family is indeed much higher than that of the Wan family. However, in the face of the huge monster of the Union sect, the Su family and the Wan family are no different. Yi Yuan is now the identity of the above-mentioned core disciples to let him meet. If he does not see, is it a rebellion? The problem is that Yi Yuan is probably the murderer who killed Su Yishan. Let him meet the killer and the enemy. This is impossible. Yi Yuan, you don't want to be too much. I haven't settled with you for a mountain thing. Su Yulin said with great anger. Yi Yuan ignored him and his eyes drifted behind Yang Hao. Yang Hao is about to collapse. Shen Sheng said. Su family, just to see, there are a lot of meat. According to reason, you really should see Yi Shidi. Chapter 194 Inciting People. Su Yulin looked like a blue-green, looking at Yi Yuan's eyes full of killing, as if looking at a dead person. In the relationship of Su Yulin, he can actually ignore Yang Hao. However, Yang Hao is not his own, but Yao Qian behind him. Today's things are too important, and it is not a mistake for the Su family. If it is because of the offense of Yao Qian, it leads to a loss of all means. Su Yulin is the sinner of the Su family. Thinking of this, Su Yulin simply closed his eyes and bowed to Yi Yuan. Su Yulin met with Shang Zongzi. Su Yulin deliberately dragged the word "zi" to his elders to express his dissatisfaction. Yi Yuan didn't mind, smiled and said, "It seems that the Su family is still respectful to me. I am not bad. Oh, it's not early, what are you standing here? My legs are sour. Wanlu, this is your hospitality." Wan Donghai's heart is so angry. Who is here in this glory, but also dragging everyone into it? Now that you have installed it, you still say that your legs are sour. I have never heard of it, and the spirits of the warriors will stand for a while and have a sore leg. Yang Gongzi, Yulin brother, please. Wan Donghai glanced at Yi Yuan, and said to Su Yulin. The group went to the inner hall, and the south wind and the sunny side looked at each other and followed. For the event today, Drunken Star House has specially opened up a large hall, which is large enough to accommodate the family of the imperial city. This battle is even more spectacular than the royal state banquet, and it is clearly over. But at this time, no one cares about this anymore. After today's contest, there must be a party to withdraw from the stage of history. After Su Yulin and his entourage sat down, Wan Donghai came to the center of the hall and said, Today, I drunk the Star House to hold this pinnacle conference, aiming to promote the cause of my drug in Qin State. Below, I will introduce one to you first. VIP. Having said that, Wan Donghai paused and sold a pass. Sure enough, these nobles looked in the direction of Yang Hao because he was sitting in the most prominent position. Everyone is speculating, who is this young man, actually sitting on the top of Nanfang Building and Su Yulin? The two men looked calm and did not seem to be unhappy. This is the core disciple of the Shangzong Yang Hao Yang Gongzi, his trip on behalf of the Shangzong to us to help this Pindan conference. Wan Donghai loudly introduced. Wan Donghai's introduction, everyone is lost. The core disciple of Yu Yunzong, the identity is too honorable. No wonder you can sit on the royal family and the Su family. Don't look at these people calling for the reign in the Qin dynasty, but they are so big, they really haven't seen the Union Zong. Isn't it? Wanjia actually moved the core disciple of Shangzong, and today I am afraid that there is a good show. Hey, the core disciples of the Shangzong came to the Wanjia, and there is something intriguing in the middle. Is it true that Shangzong has been dissatisfied with the royal family? I thought that today I just came to see the new medicinal medicine. I didn't expect it to come out like this. Sus big move. I don't know how the Nanfang family responded. Take him. We are all businessmen, and the pursuit of interests. As long as there is money to earn, who is the emperor is not. I am coming today, I want to grab the agent of the new drug. Hey, the agent of this new drug, I got it. Oh, let's take care of it. For today's Pinnacle Congress, I have already got the blood, how can I lose to you? For a time, these nobles were all talking. Su Yulin saw this scene and couldn't help but feel great. He has been planning for so many years and is finally able to realize his ambitions. Yang Hao's big move is a sacrifice, and he will win half. Yang Hao represents the Yun Yunzong, and even Yun Yunzong supports himself. How can these people stand on the team, so they don't have to pay more attention to themselves? Su Yulin's eyes glanced around in a circle, but in the end it fell on Yi Yuan's body, and could not help but look cold. Yi Yuan seems to have a sense of heart, but also looked at him, but also grinned at him. I don't know why, because of Yi Yuan's look, Su Yulin feels uncomfortable. Su Yulin has a feeling that the biggest variable today is on Yi Yuan. Su Yulin can't say why there is such a feeling, but he just thinks that Yi Yuan's threat is even bigger than Yi Hang. This feeling is very strange. It is obvious that Yi Yuan is only a spiritual environment, and he is not involved in the dispute between the condensed crystals. But why, the feeling of uneasiness is still so strong? Is it because Yi Yuan is performing outside? Although Yi Yuan is now the core disciple, there is no way to compare it with Yang Hao. Even if Yi Yuanliang's identity, Su Yulin has a way to pull the situation back. Cough. Everyone is quiet. Wan Donghai made a quiet gesture, waiting for the hall to be quiet, and loudly said, Yang Gongzi is a disciple of Shangzong Dantang elder Yao Qianzu, Yao Chenglao and Uyang Ming elder. It is the rebellious friendship. Today, Yang Gongzi can specially come to the Pindan conference, and Wanmu expresses his heartfelt thanks. It's a burst of glory. Although everyone has guessed it, but Wan Donghai said it, let everyone up a cold air. In the hearts of many people, the balance has completely inclined to the side of the Su family. This is probably the biggest disaster that the Nanfang family has encountered since the Qin state was founded. Many people's eyes are looking at Nanfang building, and their eyes are full of sympathy. They know that the Nanfang family also has a relationship to the Yunzong, but compared with the entire Dantang, it is insignificant. No, what does Wan Donghai mean? Is it true that Shangzong Dantang is making a statement that it is necessary to abolish the Nanfang family? It's not like, if there is no special situation, the Shangzong will not intervene in the secular power of the imperial power. If the Su family has the support of the entire Dantang, I am afraid that it is not a core disciple. They do not have to do this Pindan conference. Quote, well, what you said is. But even so, the potential borrowed by Sujia is too strong. Yes, Nanfang home, this time hanging. Wan Donghai only broke the hopes of the Nanfang family with just 2 sentences. Nanfang Tower sits in the position of Yang Hao, and the expression on his face is not good. It was the south wind near him that was sunny and his face was not very beautiful. Sus hand is too embarrassing. Nanfanglo and Nanfang Ruaoking can't help but look at Yi Yuan. If Yi Guang's identity is bright, will it help the situation? The two looked at each other and the south wind shook his head slightly. Yi Yuan has achieved a good status as a core disciple, but he has not even entered the sect. Even if he clarifies his identity, it will not help. The terrible thing about Yang Hao's identity is not the core disciple, but the Dantang behind him. What should I do now? If the south wind is sunny, it will not help but secretly anxious. Chapter 195 3 New Remedies. Yang Hao sat on the top, a high-profile gesture. In his eyes, these ordinary people are a group of ants. His eyes swept over the faces of the nobles, or they were nervous, or tangled, or excited, and all kinds of life, and so on, gave him a feeling of overlooking all beings. In the end, his gaze was swept to the opposite side of Yi Yuan, and his expression could not help but lag. Just a little better, the moment is gone. This guy is really hateful. However, he is afraid that he will not live today. Thinking of this, Yang Hao could not help but be cool. The core disciples who have not yet gotten started are killed in the chaos of the world, and the master and the elder Uyang are in the middle of the cover, and the result is so bad. At this moment, Wan Donghai spoke again. I think everyone has heard about the contents of today's Pindan conference before coming today. Yes, today, our Drunk Star building will launch 3 kinds of products that have never appeared in the market. New Dan Medicine, the launch of these 3 new medicinal herbs, will be a revolution in our Qin Guodan medicine industry. Now, we will unveil one by one, the mystery of these 3 new remedies. It must be said that in addition to alchemy, Wan Donghai's ability to inspire people is not comparable to Yi Hang. Compared with Wan Donghai, Yi Hang is less sleek and more attractive. Yes, the reason why Yao Shangge is so powerful in the Drunk Star building can still be supported now, relying on Yi Hang's personal charm. From Yi Hang's retreat to today, there isn't a guy in Yao Shangge who left the medicine hall. If the two sides change positions, I am afraid that the Drunk Star building has already fallen apart. However, the height of the road is 1 foot high, and the means of Wan Donghai's operation are endless. This is also the reason why the Drunk Star building can stabilize the medicine. However, today, the inflammatory nature of Wan Donghai's speech is undoubtedly fatal. Wan Donghai came to the center of the hall, and there were 3 beautiful jade plates placed on the case. The jade plate was covered with a red cloth, and the things inside could not be seen. But everyone knows that the 3 kinds of new medicinal herbs are placed on these 3 jade plates. These 3 kinds of remedies affect everyone's heart. Wan Donghai lifted the jade plate on the left-hand side and gently untied the red cloth covered with it, revealing 3 gray pills. I believe that everyone is no stranger to the return of Dan. For the military, returning to Dan is a must-have. I am in the hands of these medicinal herbs, is the improved version of the return to Dan. The name is really back to Dan. Really back. The speed at which Qi Dan restores Yuan Li is 50% higher than that of Wei Dan. Wan Donghai's voice fell, and the scene immediately exploded. My Scorpio. 50%. This is really a return to the air. If it is launched, isn't all the resurgence in my store slow down? Hey, after today, we have to become a vassal of the Drunk Star building. It's just a kind of true gas, and it's so effective. I really don't know what the latter 2 drugs are. There is no doubt that the improvement of the drug is extremely difficult. It will increase the efficiency of Weiqidan by 50%. As long as the price is not too outrageous, if it is launched, it will definitely monopolize the market. With Juyuan Dan, the Drunk Star building will wait for the door to open the door and count the money. Basically, there is no other power. Therefore, these businesses want to survive. Only the vassal of the Drunk Star building become their agent. As a result, their store has basically become a branch of the Drunk Star building. Wan Donghai smiled lightly, put down the real return of Dan in his hand, and picked up the jade plate in the middle to introduce it again. The medicinal herbs contained in this jade plate are not a modified version, but a newly developed medicinal herb called Huayuan Dan. When it came to this, Wan Donghai deliberately paused. Sure enough, someone heard it was a newly developed remedy that couldn't help it. Thousands of landlords, you don't want to sell off, let us tell us about the efficacy of this Yuandan. Yeah, Wanlu, what is this use of this Yuandan? When Wan Donghai saw it almost time, he smiled and said, the efficacy of this Huayuan Dan is that it can unconditionally improve the realm of the martial arts. However, a warrior can only use it once in a lifetime. If he takes it again, it will have no effect. Quote, no, is it too exaggerating to unconditionally improve the realm of the martial arts? Do you want to lie to us? What kind of jokes? The practice of the military has always accumulated strength, and I have never heard of such a drug. It is too outrageous. Everyone does not believe what Wan Donghai said. People are like this. When a thing goes beyond its own cognition, it instinctively chooses not to believe. Wan Donghai smiled and said, I know that everyone has doubts about the efficacy of Huayuan Dan, so I will try this medicine now in front of you. At this moment, a 7-powered warrior came out and took a chemical Yuan Dan from Wan Donghai and took it directly. At this moment, the whole hall was very quiet, and everyone's eyes were concentrated on the warrior. Only Yi Yuan was lazy to yawn, and he was indifferent. Far, how do I see that you are not worried at all? If this Huayuan Dan really has this effect, it is very bad for us. Yi Hang said. Although Yi Hang had great confidence in his son, he heard the introduction of Wan Donghai. At this time, he still had some drums in his heart. This is still only the 2nd kind of medicinal medicine, and the 3rd kind of medicinal medicine has not been shown. It has already smothered almost all the forces of Qin. This situation is not what he hopes to see. Although he has a blast on his hand, there are 4 kinds of remedies on Wan Donghai. Even if he can monopolize the market of the explosion of Yuan Dan in the future, it is also absolutely inferior in terms of the true return of Dan and Huayuan. Yi Yuan smiled and said, oh, my father doesn't have to worry. Only those guys who don't know the goods will be the baby. Defective goods. Yi Hang surprised. Well, this Huayuan Dan does have the effect of improving the realm, but the side effects are not small. Wan Donghai took this thing out, it is just a pit person. Yi Yuan said. Does this Huayuan Dan have side effects? This is the next leaf. Yes, after taking this Huayuan Dan, the warrior's meridians will be damaged to a certain extent, which will affect the speed of cultivation in the future. However, this damage is not obvious, and most people can't detect it. But when it comes to the impact of the environment, their success rate will be greatly reduced, but it will be much slower than the normal practitioners. Yi Yuan explained. Yi Yuan has spent countless efforts to study the 3rd-order medicinal herbs, and among the medicinal herbs, the most widely used is the 1st-order medicinal herbs. This Hua Yuan Dan is simply the rest of Yi Yuan's play. He naturally knows the efficacy of Hua Yuan Dan. Chapter 196. The picture is poor. If this is the case, is this Dongdonghai not a pit person? And, will this side effect be discovered sooner or later? Yi Hang frowned. Oh, in fact, this kind of side effect is not a big deal for the aristocratic children. Just take some remedies to repair the meridians, you can make up for it. Or, in the case of impacting the environment, take the medicinal herbs with increased success rate. Yes, as long as the breakthrough of the spiritual environment, the physical function of the military will take a big step, these hidden dangers are naturally eliminated. After all, it is only a first-order remedy, some side effects cannot be overcome. Yi Yuan explained. Yi Hang heard the words. You said it is light. The trauma is easy to cure, the internal injury is difficult to remove. The repair of the meridians is not without, but each one is worthless. I am afraid it is still above this yuanden. Come, this is not worth the candle. As for the increase in the success rate of the impact of the liquid environment, although I know that many refiners want to refine, but I have not seen it until now. Yi Yuan mysteriously smiled and said, if I guessed it well, this third kind of medicinal medicine, I am afraid it is the remedy to increase the success rate of the spiritual environment. Hey, this Dantang is really a good abacus. Yi Hang's face changed, and his eyes could not be seen on the jade plate that had not been uncovered. If the truth is as Yi Yuan said, then this third kind of remedy can be amazing. This kind of remedy is enough to shake the foundation of the royal family. Not to mention the world's military, a single Qin country, how many military people stuck in the threshold of the ninefold peak of the vitality cannot break through. It is conceivable that once this kind of medicinal medicine is available, it will be sought after. Yi Hang himself knows that the medicinal herbs that help break through the spiritual environment must exist. It is only in such a place as Qin that there is no ability to develop such medicinal herbs. However, Yi Hang also knows that Yi Yuan definitely knows the refining method of this remedy. Yi Hang took a deep breath. Far, you can rely on you today. Do not worry, father. If you can't even do this, I will also take the pains of the master. Yi Yuan calmly said. At this moment, there was a sudden burst of force storm in the hall, and the warrior who tried the medicine really broke through the vitality. There was a burst of exclamation in the hall. Oh, everyone has seen the efficacy of the drug, so I don't need to explain more. Now, let's introduce the third new drug. Wan Donghai did not introduce anything to Huayuan Danduo. He believes that this scene has already brought enough shock to everyone. He picked up the third jade plate and unveiled the red cloth. He said, this third new drug is the ultimate medicine for today's finale. I believe everyone is very much looking forward to it. This is the third kind of drug. Shengeling Dan can increase the success rate of 20% impact environment. What? Improve the success rate of the 2-in-1 impact environment. Have you made a mistake? Is there such a magical drug? Thousands of landlords. How much is this rising spirit? I want to buy 10. Thousands of landlords. I have to buy. A lot of good. Oh, yes, there are also Yuan Dan and really returning to Dan. I want to. Everyone can't sit still. The 3 kinds of medicinal herbs launched by Drunk Star House today are subverting the cognition of everyone here. Although many people here are psychologically prepared, knowing that the new medicinal drugs launched by Drunk Star House today are not ordinary, but they can't think of it, even so unusual. These people have left their seats and surrounded Wan Donghai in the middle, vying for dialogue with Wan Donghai. At this time, there is no one to manage the dispute between the Sujia and the Nanfang family. What they care about is how to buy the medicinal herbs of the Drunk Star building. They all know that the Drunk Star building will certainly not supply this kind of immortality indefinitely. Nanfanglo and Nanfang Ruaoking looked at each other and saw helplessness and despair from the other's eyes. With these 3 kinds of medicinal herbs, what does the Nanfang family take to hold the hearts of these nobles? Yi Yuan looked at this scene and couldn't help but sneer. The things that people have eliminated, the rush to fight so hard, a group of guys who have never seen the world. His voice is not too big, but a few people in the vicinity can hear it clearly. Nanfanglo and Nanfang Ruaoking are somewhat inexplicable, but Yonghao and Su Yulin are changing face. Yi Yuan, what do you mean just now? You said that these medicinal drugs were eliminated by others. Otherwise, with the stupidity of Wan Donghai, can you develop such a medicinal medicine? These medicinal herbs are clearly danfangs that he has brought from other places. These danfangs, apart from the Zongmen forces, how else maybe? And, if it wasn't for the danfang, which was eliminated by the Zongmen forces, do you think Wan Donghai can see? He dares to take over. Yi Yuan dismissed. If the south wind is clear and thinking, this is really the case. However, even the danfang, which was eliminated from the Zongmen, is enough to be shocked by the world. With these few danfang, Sujia is enough to overthrow the royal family. If the royal family loses the support of these large and small families, the Su family can hardly win the Nanfang home with almost no effort. Hey, do you know how many things in the door? Even if Dan is eliminated from the Zongmen, it is enough to be savage. Yang Hao said coldly. Yi Yuan shrugged and seemed to be too lazy to argue. Yang Hao punched the cotton and was not depressed. At this time, Yi Heng couldn't sit still. He was about to leave, but he was pulled by Yi Yuan. Father is not anxious. Wan Donghai's means have not finished playing, let him play first. Yi Yuan said. Well, what other means? In the mind, Yi Heng is obviously not as good as Wan Donghai. Oh, my father will know when he looks at it. Yi Yuan laughed. Wan Donghai was surrounded by people at this time, but no one really dared to approach him. After all, it is the strongest person in the condensate. Even if he is a refining pharmacist, those people do not dare to rush to him. But everyone, I am saying, I am going to drown him with spitting. Don't be noisy. These 3 kinds of medicinal herbs, one will not be sold to you. Wan Donghai suddenly loudly. What, Wanlu, you don't sell such a powerful drug, do you want to keep Baoshan? Yeah, Wanlu, you don't want to let us know what to do with this pinnacle congress. Wan Donghai waved his hand and said, you are sitting back in your seat, and Wan has something big to do with you. Everyone heard the words were shocked, my heart came. They have just been taken away by Wan Donghai, and they have been battling for the medicinal herbs. They have forgotten this banquet today. Seeing Wan Donghai saying so now, I am afraid it is time to see the first sight of the poor. No accident, Wan Donghai is trying to force them to express their views. When everyone returned to their seats, they didn't look good, and weighed how to deal with today's scene. Chapter 197 Watching the show. Thousands of landlords, let me, what conditions do you want to sell these drugs to us? At this time, a nobleman spoke up. Obviously, these medicinal herbs that Wan Donghai took out made him very excited. However, his words also asked the voice of everyone. Wan Donghai smiled and said slowly, speaking of these years, our Qin national strength has been weak, and it has been in the middle and lower position among the 10 countries of the Union. I don't know if you have been reflecting for so many years. When everyone listens, the heart is really coming. Wan Donghai's words, the word is heartfelt. The national strength is weak. Whose fault is this? Can't it be the fault of these people? Of course it is the fault of the royal family. Many people's eyes are on the direction of Nanfang building. I feel that our Qin country is too scattered and has not formed an effective alliance. If we can unite these forces and form a synergy, we will definitely make Qin a powerful. Now we have Juyuan Dan, True back to Qi Dan, Huayuan Dan, Shengling Dan, so many medicinal herbs, enough to make more military people strong. Having said that, Wan Donghai paused and scanned the entire hall and said, so I suggest setting up a Qingou Dan medicine alliance. Combine all the forces to create a more powerful Qin state. Wan Donghai's voice fell, and if the south wind couldn't stand it anymore, he immediately got up and said, Wan Donghai, are you going to rebel? For the accusation of the south wind, Wan Donghai did not have many accidents. He just smiled and said, why did the Long Princess say this? I set up to kiss the Dan Medicine Alliance, but to strengthen the strength of my Qin state. But you are a royal family. How many things have been done for Qin in these years? That is because Nanfang Ruqing did not know how to answer. The royal family is weak, this is an indisputable fact. It is not that the royal family does not want to be strong, but that the suicide of the Su family is too strong, and the south wind escapes the rat, which leads to the situation of Qin state. After all, Su Jokai is the culprit. But this is an open secret. After all, the royal family is not strong enough. This world has always been a strong person, and the weak will eventually be eliminated. Because what? Hee, can the long princess not say it? The people of ours provide the royal family with a tax, so that the royal family can eat and drink, but what does the royal family bring us? In these years, the country and the people are in peace, and the people live and work in peace and contentment. Isn't this the merit of the royal family? This is just superficial peace. Although we are only the common people, but this is the world of warriors. The world of warriors has always been a strong and weak food. Other countries are getting stronger and stronger, and our Qin country is getting weaker and weaker. In the future, it will only be annexed by other countries. The end of the long princess, you said that I said right. Wan Donghai sneered. If the south wind is sunny and speechless, because Wan Donghai is telling the truth. However, the Nanfang family has not done nothing in these years. Why did Nanfang Ruoking and Nanfang Ji Ru hide their names in Danwu College? It is for the rise of the Nanfang family. The talent of Nanfang Ruoking on Dandao is unparalleled, and it has long been qualified to enter the Union Zong. However, she has stayed in the college, and she hopes to make the royal family stronger through her own efforts. Why is Nanfang Ji Ru so desperately practicing? He also wants to strengthen himself, protect the South Wind home, and protect the Qin country. However, the Su family is pressing hard, and now it has finally revealed its fangs. The Nanfang family has not yet grown up. As long as you join the alliance, we can share resources. The merchants in the Dan medicine industry can act as agents to sell the medicinal herbs of the Drunk Star building. The family and the warriors join the alliance to purchase the alliance's medicinal herbs, depending on the contribution, enjoy the corresponding discount. Under such conditions, I don't know if everyone is satisfied or not. Wan Donghai finally threw a blockbuster. This condition, the temptation is not the big one. It is conceivable that the Drunk Star building has these 4 kinds of immortal medicines, and in the future it is completely monopolized in Qin. Merchants in the Dan medicine industry, if they do not join the alliance, there is no channel to obtain these drugs, waiting for their only bankruptcy results. Both the warrior and the family must cultivate their own power, and the demand for the medicinal herbs is very large. There is no doubt that the prices of these remedies will definitely be high. In particular, Shengeling Dan will definitely be as high as a rather outrageous. Even so, I am afraid there are countless military people rushing. Although it only increases the success rate of 20%, how many warriors in the whole Qin state are stuck in this level? There are a lot of people, the difference is only half the success rate, it is too late to break through the realm, so that the years have passed. The success rate of 20% is enough for many Yuansha warriors to break through to Lingye. Even if they don't want to break through, they don't want to give it a try. Therefore, these 2 conditions thrown by Wan Donghai are too tempting. However, some of these aristocrats are still somewhat jealous of the Nanfang family. Many people face each other and whisper, and they are discussing countermeasures. Wan Donghai is not in a hurry, patiently waiting for the reply of everyone. Yi Heng was in a hurry and wanted to leave, but he was pulled by Yi Yuan. Father, how can you not finish watching such a good show? Watching the show depends on a full set. Yi Yuan said. Look at it, look at them all, they are all relying on Wan Donghai and Su Yulin. Of course you have to watch. Such a good opportunity, don't look at the faces of these people clearly. Of course, I don't care, but after the incident, the South Winds are afraid of carrying out a big cleansing. Don't let South if the Wind building and the South Wind are clear. How do they know who to clean? Listening to Yi Yuan said that Yi Heng was calmed down. Looking at Yi Yuan's eyes again, it has become a bit different. Yi Heng did not expect that his son has grown to this point. His father's still looking at the things in front of him, his son has already seen the distant future. Looking back now, Yi Yuan seems to have a deep meaning in every move. Even his old man, some of them can't understand their son. Just then, someone finally made a sound. Thousands of landlords, my king's family is willing to join the league. It is the Wang family's master Wang Jia. However, he just spoke, and some people immediately blamed. Wang Jia, you are a shameless thing. Your royal family has been crowned by the emperor, and today is the first enemy. It is the owner of a dead loyal family in the royal family. Hey, good birds choose wood and live, good ministers choose the Lord. You have to accompany the Nanfang family to die, please. Wang Jia, who shameless. Wang Jia stood up and immediately appeared like a fuse. My Lin family also joined the league. My Songtao pavilion joined the alliance. For a time, most of the family or forces chose to join the league. Chapter 198 Yi Hang shot. Usually the royal family is not thin, are you so rewarded? If the Nanfang Ruoking was shivering by these white-eyed wolves, she did not expect that the royal family's painstaking efforts would not be able to withstand the temptation of such a benefit. Long Princess, they joined the alliance as also to strengthen the Qin state, why do you want this? Wan Donghai faked. Hey, Wan Donghai, don't be proud. The emperor has already prepared for it, and will not let your traitors succeed. Su Yulin, at this time, do you still want to hide behind the scenes? Is it also necessary to jump out? The south wind looks at Su Yulin coldly. At this time, Su Yulin still closed his eyes and raised his spirits. He did not care about his own affairs, and did not pay attention to the south wind. Wan Donghai is open to guests and said, since you promised to join the alliance, it is time to contribute to our Dakan. Everyone is looking at it, there is a bad feeling, it seems to be on the thief boat. However, these people are all human, since they promised to join the alliance, naturally it will not be naive to think that they only enjoy the treatment, no need to pay. The price they paid was to break with the Nanfang family. The Nanfang family has lived in the throne for a long time, but it is not enterprising. Now my Qin country is faltering and will be in danger. Wanmu thinks that we should choose another master and led us to the road of strengthening the country. Wandong Hailong said. When he said this, everyone's eyes were on Su Yulin. The Ming master in Wandonghaiko is not a Su Yulin. I think that the name of the Su family is famous, and the force is unparalleled. You can take the Nanfang family and replace it. At this time, a Su Zong's death loyal said. The south wind home abdicated to let Yin. The Su family inherits the Datong. For a time, these nobles, you said a word, angry with the south wind, if the sunny and beautiful body tremble, the south wind floor color iron blue. Compared with the other side, the momentum of the royal family is obviously weaker. If the south wind thinks of something, it looks badly at Yi Hang and his son. This father and son are too quiet today, and now they have not said a word. Before coming, the Emperor Ming confessed that today Yi Hang will stand on the side of the royal family. But now, Yi Hang has no movement at all. Yi Hang did not move, even if it was, with Yi Yuan and his own relationship. Did you watch the royal family being overthrown? Yi Yuan obviously also noticed the gaze of the south wind, could not help but smile, stood up and said, today is not the Pindan conference. Wanlu, how do you bring everyone off the subject? Yi Yuan's voice was sent out with Yuan Li, and instantly overshadowed everyone's voice. Seeing Yi Yuan's voice, Su Yulin, Yang Hao and others couldn't help but sink into their faces, and they thought it was coming. Today, they are not afraid of the Nanfanglo uncle, but Yi Hang, the father and son. It's unusual to say that these two people have never said a word until now. If Yi Hang had already given up the royal family, he should not appear here today. But when he came, he didn't talk and let the Pindan conference go to the present, which made them a little confused. Wan Donghai was self-satisfied, and he heard Yi Yuan's unharmonious voice suddenly felt uncomfortable. Yi Yuan, are you a clown when you jump out at this time? We have already learned about the medicinal herbs that we drunk on Star House. The Pindan conference has come to an end. Wan Donghai looked sullen. Yi Yuanwen said that he was suddenly stunned. Is this a few medicinal herbs? I thought it was a great big event. These kinds of garbage remedies, Wanlu owners dare to show them out, it's really stinking to the extreme. What? Oh, listen to what you mean, is there a better medicine than these kinds of medicines? Wan Donghai smiled. He can't believe what cards are in Yi Hang's hands, otherwise why wait until now? If he was going out for a few days at night, Yao Shangge himself went bankrupt. Yi Yuan was laughing and not talking. At this time, Yi Heng went forward and said, "This time, the Pindan Conference is also a rare event for the Qin dynasty in 10 years. Wanlu has just shown their drunk star building. Several new medicinal herbs have opened our eyes. But it is also a coincidence that our medicinal herbs have recently developed several new medicinal herbs, just to take advantage of this Pindan Conference to let everyone tasting. Ha ha ha, I heard that you have been retreating for more than a month. Wouldn't it be developing new medicinal drugs? I really want to see what kind of new developments Yi Yeju has developed this month. Dan medicine. However, Yi Geju's big words are released, and it's not good to end it for a while. Wandong Heidao. Yi Heng said lightly, "This is not enough for you." After that, Yi Heng looked around and asked, "I don't know if everyone is present in the field, is there anyone who is stuck in the bottleneck and is about to break through?" Yi Heng asked this, the nobles could not help but face each other. What does it mean? Could it be said that this new drug developed by Yi Heng is also an unconditional breakthrough in a realm? But looking for those who are stuck in the bottleneck, this medicinal medicine does not seem to make much sense. After all, the breakthrough of the realm of the martial arts is not as difficult as imagined, as long as the use of Yuan Dan or Ju Yuan Dan heap, how can pile up the bottleneck? A middle-aged man said, "Yi Zhe Master, the dog stuck in the bottleneck of the 6 vitality. He told me that only the last bit, but always cannot find an opportunity. The main name of the family is Huang, whose name is Huang Wei. His son is Huang Zan. Many people present came with their younger generation. Such an occasion is definitely good for the growth of the younger generation, and they naturally will not let go of this opportunity to teach the younger generation." Huang Wei took his son to Yi Heng and handed it to him, as the owner of the leaf to test the medicine. "I don't know if the condition of the dog can be met." Yi Heng glanced at Huang Zan and smiled. "Yes, 16 years old, 6 peaks of vitality, and the yellow family is succeeding. Haha, Yi Geju, this is a distraction, and compared with your home Yi Yuan, the dog is far away." Huang Wei smiled. Huang Zan is also a student of Danwu College. Huang Wei also listened to his son and said that Yi Yuan's performance in the college. Even if I haven't heard of it, the realm of Yi Yuanling's liquid is enough to make Huang Zan look back. Yi Heng smiled lightly and did not express any opinions on this. Yi Yuan's excellence is no longer worthy of praise. The Huang family owner asked the son to test the medicine, so I am not afraid of any side effects of this medicine. I believe in Yi Geju. Huang Wei only said this sentence. Okay, in this case, this remedy, let the sons take it, let us see the effect. Yi Heng reached out and held up a medicinal herb, which was the explosion of Yuan Dan. Huang Wei reached out and handed it to Huang Zan, faintly said, "Zan take it." "Yes, father." Huang Zan did not hesitate to directly take down the Yuan Dan, and began to exercise the power of refining and chemical. After a few dozens of interest, there was another storm in the hall. Chapter 199 Explosive Yuan Dan's Efficacy. 3 more. The situation is sevenfold. After Huang Zan's blasting Yuan Dan, he directly broke through to the 7-fold vitality. The first time I took the explosion, the effect was the best, so Huang Zan directly broke the bottleneck of this small step. However, this did not cause much commotion. Because there are examples of Hua Yuandan in front, there are not many surprises about this scene. Yi Heng, you have been studying for a month's remedy, is this? You want to use this kind of junk medicine to defeat me? Wan Donghai sneered. This leaf flight has been closed for a month, is it silly? Is it funny to go out? Although this medicinal medicine is good, but it is much worse than Hua Yuandan. The warrior just broke through the 7-fold vitality, and Hua Yuandan Shengsheng raised him to a small realm. And Yi Heng took out this medicinal medicine, but he had to pick a martial artist who was about to break through. In contrast, the difference is too much. The ideas of other guests are roughly the same as those of Wan Donghai. For Wan Donghai's ridicule, Yi Heng did not know what to say. Yi Heng, if you think that such a mess has any effect, it would be too naive. Don't you know that the more **** your drug is, the more it shows that my drug is irreplaceable? Wan Donghai continued to count down. It's too powerful. It's so amazing. This remedy is simply incredible. At this moment, Huang Zan, who was meditation, finally woke up. The first reaction he woke up was the shocking color of his face. For Huang Zan's amazement, everyone is somewhat unclear, but it is just a breakthrough in a small realm. What is so powerful? Huang Wei had just said that Huang Zan had already touched the threshold of 7 vitality, only a footstep. This medicinal medicine may have caused him to break through by mistakes. Is it so surprising? Huang Wei is also unclear. So he asked his son, Zan how is this medicinal medicine ridiculous? You seem to have broken through. Huang Zan nodded. Father, I really want to break through, but I can't break through the threshold of 7 vitality. But just after I took the remedy given by Yi Shishu, I immediately broke through. I have never seen such a powerful one. The medicinal effect of this medicinal herb is at least 3 times that of Juyuan Dan. Huang Zan is very excited, and the impact of the explosion of Yuan Dan is too great. What do you say? Isn't this a good medicine to help break through the realm? Is it just an ordinary cultivation of medicinal herbs? Huang Wei shocked. Yes, the medicinal medicine I just took, like Yuanqi Dan and Juyuan Dan, is the medicinal remedy. However, this is not an ordinary cultivation remedy. Huang Zan corrected. The dialogue between Huang Wei and his son finally detonated the guests at the scene, and everyone questioned them. Everyone knows that the medicinal herbs that Yi Heng took out are not directed at Yuan Dan, but are directed at Juyuan Dan. If this kind of remedy really has the effect of Huang Zan, Juyuan Dan still sells a fart. The efficacy of Juyuan Dan is only 50% higher than that of Yuan Dan, and the efficacy of Fei Yuan Dan is 3 times that of Juyuan Dan. The gap is too big. Cultivating medicinal herbs. How is this possible? Willing a medicinal remedy can break through the small step bottleneck. What medicinal drugs are so abnormal? Huang Jia will not be able to collude with Yi Heng. Taking a prescription medicine can break through the realm, killing me or not. Yi Heng, you just want to act, do you have a good professional? This kind of lame drama, do you think everyone is a fool? Wan Donghai sneered. Just listening to the dialogue between Huang Zan and his son, Wan Donghai was shocked, but he quickly responded. It seems that Yi Heng is really poor, and even this kind of teasing can be used. Yi Heng did not explain anything, but took out several medicine bottles on the case, which were filled with medicinal herbs. I have 20 explosive yuandans here. You choose 20 yuan of martial arts to come out. I will give 1 to each. What is the effect of the drug? I said it is not counted. They said it. Wan Donghai, if you don't worry, you can pick it yourself. Yi Heng said lightly. Seeing that Yi Heng is so calm, Wan Donghai is not very calm. Can it be said that this medicinal medicine really has the effect of against the sky? This is impossible. How can there be a cure for medicinal herbs, which is 3 times as effective as Juyuan Dan? Good. Since you want to play, then I will accompany you to play. I would like to see, what is your explosion, Yuan Dan, is it really so magical? Wan Donghai cold. Soon, Wan Donghai selected 20 members of the military, and several of them were practicing to the bottleneck. These 20 members of the military are all descendants of the family or forces who joined the alliance, and half of them are the buddies of Wanjia and Sujia. Wan Donghai still feels so reliable. Yi Heng did not say much, but each person sent a burst of Yuan Dan. After these Qi martial artists took the medicinal herbs, they each meditated on refining and chemical power. Then everyone's attention was focused on the 20 warriors. Whether Huang Zan's words are true or not will be visible in a moment. Tens of time has passed, and these elements are not moving. Seeing this scene, Wan Donghai is even more determined. The scene just now is the double spring that Yi Heng and Huang Jia and his son sang. In the twinkling of an eye, there were dozens of interest, and suddenly there was another storm in the hall. Su Yulin, Yang Hao, and Wan Donghai's face could not be changed. Someone broke through. After the 10th interest, another violent storm struck again, and another martial artist broke through. Then, there are people who break through. As long as it is in the bottleneck period, almost all of the selected members of the armed forces have broken through. Not waiting for the refining of these warriors, Wan Donghai couldn't wait to seize a younger generation who had already broken through and asked, "Come tell me, is this explosion Yuan Dan's cultivation of the drug?" The younger generation did not look good. "I don't know how to answer." He knows that he is the side of the Su family, but do you want to admit that the explosion of Yuan Dan is a cure for immortality? You just answer the truth. Is it right? Wan Donghai said. The cultivation of medicinal herbs is well identified. It is not that these 20 people can be denied by negation. It is completely meaningless to lie. Yes. Wan Donghai's heart sank, opened the younger generation, and grabbed another person and asked, "You answer, yes or not. This is indeed a cure for immortality. How is it possible? How is this possible?" Wan Donghai muttered to himself, seemingly lost. From today, Yaoshangge officially began to sell the explosion Yuandan. The price of the explosion Yuandan is only 20% higher than the original Yuandan Dan. If you are interested, you can go to the medicine after the end of the Pindan conference. Shang single, Yi Hang faint. Chapter 200 At the touch of a hair. Is only 20% higher than Yuanshi Dan. Isn't that better than Juyuan Dan? The anti-drug medicine is actually cheaper than Juyuan Dan. Yi Hang is not kidding. Hey, this is a conscience business. I really don't know. Drunk Star Building uses this Juyuan Dan, how much black money is earned? Yi Hang's words instantly exploded the audience. Drunken Star House relied on Juyuan Dan these days, but it was a lot of money. Although the effect of Juyuan Dan is only 50% higher than that of Yuan Dan, the price is twice that of Yuan Dan. Although everyone knows that this price is high, for the military, time is money. As long as they have the ability to afford, they basically bought a lot of Juyuan Dan in the Drunk Star Building for the younger generation of the family. Now Yi Hang said that the price of the explosion Yuan Dan is only 20% higher than that of Yuan Dan. Isn't this a naked face? The presence of people is fine, too clear the meaning of the explosion of Yuan Dan. Explosive Yuan Dan is definitely an epic-making remedy. This epic-making medicinal drug, the price is so low, who is still coming to the Drunk Star Building to buy Juyuan Dan? Yi Hang's handcuffs directly pushed Wan Donghai to the corner. Wan Donghai was so angry that he looked at Yi Hang's eyes full of killings. In this way, who else is going to Drunk Star Building to buy Juyuan Dan? Hey, everyone listens. Anyone who goes to Yaoshangge to order the explosion of Yuan Dan will be cleared out of the League and will directly enter the blacklist of the League. The forces that enter the blacklist will not want to buy a medicinal medicine from the League. Wan Donghai Cold Road. Wan Donghai's words are like a cold water, which instantly erodes the enthusiasm of these people. Yi Hangyu. Wan Donghai is even more embarrassing than him. Yi Hang only has a kind of medicinal medicine, but Wan Donghai has launched 3 kinds of medicinal herbs today. And these medicinal herbs are all necessary remedies for cultivation. Who dares to say that they will not use them in the future? Hey, Wanlu Lord seems to be very confident about his own medicine. Do you think that you have to buy your remedy? Yi Yuan suddenly spoke out. Wan Donghai sneered and said, "Isn't it? Can you still get more powerful drugs than these 3 kinds of remedies?" As Yi Yuan said, these 3 kinds of remedies were eliminated by Yu Yunzong. However, Yi Yuanlian did not enter the Zongmen. Can you still know the new drugs? Yi Yuan smiled and added a pill bottle in his hand. The medicinal herbs in this bottle can double the strength of the reply. After that, Yi Yuan took out a pill bottle and said, "This can unconditionally raise the vitality of a small realm, and there is no side effect at all." What kind of chemical element, Dan? But it is a semi-finished product. Use this kind of garbage to fool people. You are so funny. Then, Yi Yuan took out the 3rd pill bottle and said, "The medicinal herbs here can improve the success rate of the 40% impact spirit environment." Hey, who is good or who is bad? I don't need to talk more about it. Now do you still think that your garbage is very useful? Yi Yuan introduced 3 kinds of medicinal herbs in one breath. Every time he said one, Wan Donghai's face was gloomy. If the medicinal herbs in these bottles are really as Yi Yuan said, isn't it a joke that he held this Pindan conference today? Not only Wan Donghai, but also the face of someone at the place is full of shock. The introduction of Wan Donghai has already subverted their cognition. Really returning to Dan, Yuan Dan and Shengeling Dan, each kind of medicinal medicine is enough to change the pattern of Qin. However, Yi Yuan took out 3 kinds of medicinal herbs and directly smashed the 3 kinds of medicinal herbs to the ground. Compared with Yi Yuan's medicinal herbs, Wan Donghai's medicinal herbs are simply rubbish. It's ridiculous. Do you think that you can take out several kinds of medicinal herbs and say that it is better than my medicinal herbs? If this is the medicinal preparation prepared by your medicinal herbs, this is too targeted. Before today, it was simply no one knows what kind of remedy will be launched at the Pindan conference. Wan Donghai said, I know that you are not in the heart of the Yellow River. Yi Yuan sneered, taking a medicinal herb from the 3rd pill and throwing it directly to Yang Hao. Yang Shishong, I don't know how this medicinal medicine is compared with the medicinal herbs that Zongmin developed. Yang Hao reached out to take the medicinal herbs, and a medicinal fragrance came in. After careful examination, Yang Hao could not help but change his face. Yi Yuan, this is really rising from where you stole? Yang Hao asked. From Yang Hao's reaction, everyone knows that Yi Yuan's words are true. At this time, those who sneaked into the Qin Guo Dan Medicine Alliance, at this time the intestines are repented. I knew that the Medicine Fragrant Pavilion would come up with such a great counterattack, and they joined this broken alliance. It's no wonder that Yi Hang's father and son calmly look at Wan Donghai's performance, and the daring people are simply watching jokes. Yi Yuan smiled and said, the original Zongmin called this really rising spirit Dan, but it is also appropriate. However, Yang brothers should not smear the same door. I have never even visited Zongmin. Why should I steal the word? If I am refining myself, if Yang's brother does not believe it, will I refine one at the seam? Yang Hao stared at Yi Yuan's eyes and wanted to see what he was, but he found that Yi Yuan's eyes were very calm and there was no guilty look. Yi Yuan certainly has no guilty conscience. Before coming, Yi Yuan had already expected this situation. He refining some commonly used first-order medicinal herbs and bringing a lot of medicinal herbs. Regardless of what immortality Wan Donghai took out today, Yi Yuan completely crushed him. This is still Yi Yuan does not want to be too shocked, only to come up with some level of remedy. If Yi Yuan will take out the medicinal herbs such as Ling Dan, it is estimated that it will take a long time for the celestial sect of the celestial cloud to come over. Yi Yuan estimated the level of the Union Zongdantang. It is estimated that this is the level of Junling Lingdan. He took out these medicines. Hey, Yi Yuan, you don't want to be too early. These kinds of medicinal herbs are very important to Zongmin. Now you are actually taking it out in the secular. After returning to Zongmin, I will definitely report it to you. You are now still think about it, how to face the above question after entering the Zongmin. Now, are you shackled, or are you waiting for me to take you down? Yang Hao sneered. Yang Hao said that the whole hall was cold in an instant. Su Yulin, who has been keeping her eyes closed, suddenly opened her eyes and was so eager to shoot. Hey, it's better than the medicinal medicine. Is it a change? Yes, Brother Yang, I know that you lost very badly on that day. Today, I want to press me on the martial arts. Oh, if you have the ability, even if you put it, come over and try it. Yi Yuan's cynicism seems to be ignorant of the increasingly tense situation. At this moment, the 4 condensed crystals in the hall have been tightened, and a big battle is on the verge.